The Supreme Court just wiped black voters off the map. The Republican machine is pimping out a traumatized widow, and Donald Trump is planning to hijack Cuba. Welcome to AM Mornings. I'm your host, AlexxMedia. The internet is just a giant echo chamber of people screaming for clout. We built this show to cut through the bullshit and force an actual conversation. I don't care if you're Republican, a Democrat, conservative, or progressive. I want you calling in. Here's the AM Mornings playbook. I break down the facts, the hosts give our takes, we poke holes in the argument, and then we open the phone lines to you at home. You bring your opinions, we pressure test it, and every call ends with a dilemma of the week. This week's dilemma: you are offered $50 million to become the official public spokesperson for the KKK for 5 years. Do you take the bag or keep your soul? Start thinking about your answer. If you want to call in and share it, Patreon is how you do it. $3 gets you in the room. That's how you call in. That's how we keep this independent. But you also need to know the one rule of the show. If you call in, you must show your face. There's no burners, no avatars, no anonymous courage. Full episodes go up tomorrow on Spotify and YouTube, but Patreon gets you everything else. We got vlogs, extra episodes, behind the scenes. And if you can't jump on camera today, you can hop in the comments. I'll be there engaging with you. I'm so excited for today's show. To help break all this down, I got two of my best friends here with me today. You already know Lenny. He's tuning in live from WTF Media Studios in New York. And sitting next to me here in LA location of WTF Media is my other best friend, Arson. Lenny, I kind of see you over there. Looks like you're thinking about the money right now. Like, are you taking this 50?
We're always thinking about the money.
Are you taking this 50 million or not?
Let's just get right into it. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Listen.
So you gonna sell out your entire race for 50 mil?
Here's the thing. You said sell out my soul. I don't have one. I'm not connected to you. I'm not connected to anything. Listen, we're going to get this bag. And you never know. Maybe I could do some good. First of all, there are black members of the KKK. Doesn't mean I'm a member.
What black members of the KKK are there?
Nah, there's like this one dude in South Carolina. He's like building bridges.
You're thinking about Chappelle's show. That doesn't exist.
No.
I don't think they would let a black guy in.
I'm not talking about Clayton. I'm not talking about Clayton. Although this is a good opportunity to be Clayton. But could you imagine if you got one on this side, I got a nigga on this side, and he could just let them know the hate speech in black voice? Oh, it'd be great.
God, no.
And then I could go home because I'm getting a bag, right? I'm getting a bag. It's only a contract for 5 years. What I got to worry about it for? We just trying to get
5 years of hating yourself and your own race.
Oh, no. I'm not hating. I'm the spokesman. Yeah. Hey, this is what they said. Here it is. I'll come out with the disclaimer. The views and opinions of the KKK are not reflective of Lenny, and therefore, I'm just a messenger. Now, niggas, listen to this. Why power? All that shit, and then you go with it. Why power? You gotta do the voice.
Arson, what about you? 50 million. That's generational fuck you money right there.
How are we defining spokesperson?
You have to be the member that represents KKK.
You have to be a member?
Yeah.
You got
to be the.
It's not like a third party hire?
No. You got to have the hood. You got to be on.
Like the hood?
The hood?
Ooh.
No.
You
didn't say nothing about that.
No, yes. The hood, the whole nine.
No, yeah, you didn't mention the hood.
The hood, the whole nine.
You know what? So that makes it even easier because I am under the disguise of an actual member. I don't need to have it.
Nah, you got to show your face eventually. Like when you go on
that doesn't make any sense. If I got the hood, listen, I either got it on or I don't.
You got to AM mornings once in a while.
Arson, what about you?
And by like the Caroline Levitts of the KKK?
That's crazy.
Yes.
Like,
not the hardest.
No, I don't think I could do that.
50 million.
Why not?
50
mil
money for like moral. Like to me, I think like money like that's cursed.
Yeah.
And I just don't think you get what you want out of it. Out of having money.
You
like
got
that.
an ally, guys. Unlike fucking Lenny.
I mean, you said the hood thing.
Everybody says you got to get to the bag,
if it was like a
right?
third party hire, where I can maybe like spin it a little bit.
No. Stop. Save yourself. You answered correctly. Me?
Arson, I'm surprised because you on this side, brother. Let's go.
Here's what happens. So I take the money. I tell everybody, hey, I'm doing this for the money, but I'm going to, I got to say what I got to say. And then I'm going to use the money to infiltrate the organization and cripple it from the inside.
How come you have some
that's what the
you
Southern...
say, I'm doing this for the money. I'm like you're...
Hey, you ain't think about it.
Double
You gotta
O,
think about
double
it.
O, KKK.
Nah, you get out of here. Get out of here. That's not the dilemma. That's
Hey,
not the dilemma.
That was my
Yeah.
answer. All right, so we're going to just get right into this. The Supreme Court just put a bullet in the Voting Rights Act. And now politicians are treating election maps like a winner-take-all gang war. Let's break down the facts. The Voting Rights Act of 1965 used to be the crown jewel of civil rights, built to stop systemic voter suppression. But over the last decade, the Supreme Court has been slowly bleeding it out. First, they killed preclearance in 2013. That was a rule that forced states with a history of racism to get federal permission before changing their voter law. Now, with the new 6-3 Louisiana decision, they just finished the job. The court struck down Louisiana's congressional map, ruling that drawing a second majority black district was an unconstitutional racial gerrymandering under the Equal Protection Clause. And now, you have to remember, Louisiana only drew the second black district in the first place because a lower federal court ordered them to do it, to fix the previous map that was illegally diluting the black voting power. But to strike it down, the conservative majority completely blew up the decades-old results test under Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. Under the old rules, if an election map resulted in black voters losing their political power, it was illegal. That's simple. Now the court's demanding proof of intentional discrimination. You essentially need a smoking gun showing lawmakers drawing the map with explicitly racist motives, which no smart politician is ever going to put on record. Because of the ruling, Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry literally suspended the state's congressional primaries just days before early voting so they can scramble and redraw the maps. So here's side one, the conservative argument. They say the 14th Amendment demands a colorblind constitution and you can't draw bizarre, snake-like districts just to hit a racial quota. They point out that Louisiana lawmakers explicitly admitted they only drew a second majority black district because the lower federal court forced them to do so, making race the undeniable driving factor. Furthermore, conservatives argue that while racial gerrymandering is illegal, partisan gerrymandering is completely constitutional. And to them, this isn't about suppressing black voters, it's about protecting Republican incumbents. It's cutthroat politics, it's not civil rights violation. But on side two, the civil rights advocates, they're saying this ruling is a devastating betrayal that effectively guts Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. By requiring proof of intentional racism, the court just handed politicians a massive legal shield. Critics point out that this gives red states a blank check to wipe out minority voting power. They argue Republicans are cynical, using partisan advantages as a cover story to systematically crack black communities. So here's my take. You don't have to be a constitutional scholar to smell the bullshit on this one. The Supreme Court just handed state legislators a master key. As long as you look a judge in the face and say, we are just screwing these people over because they vote Democrat, it is completely legal that they all happen to be black. Ever since Trump gave Texas the green light to rig their board, it's been a sick race to the bottom. Both sides play dirty, but the black and brown voters are always the collateral damage. The fact that Louisiana is pausing an election days before the polls open just to rig the map back in their favor tells you everything you need to know. The system is broken. Politicians are picking their voters instead of the voters picking their politicians. So let's open the phone lines. But first, just by the sound of it, Lenny, how are you feeling about this?
I mean, listen, it's not necessarily about voter rights. It's like, it's the politicians picking their voter base and maintaining a voter base by drawing up bullshit districts. I'm sure if you've seen New York's district or you've seen the Louisiana one, you've seen California, they got all these weird shapes of districts. And you know that's not how it works. You got, let's just keep it in Queens. You got like Cambria Heights, you got St. Albans, Laurelton, all these different, you draw your district lines and you have representatives that service that group. Mm-hmm. Why are we then saying, well, you know what? AOC should be responsible for our group, but also the group in Manhattan or in the Bronx, whatever. Shouldn't it? That's not representative of the people that you're trying to serve. That makes no sense. So you shouldn't be gerrymandering based on racial lines. It makes no sense. You can't do that. And all it is doing is increasing the burden to prove that there is racial discrimination in these towns. For anybody to go, oh, now black and brown. First of all, you mentioned brown and black. This is the past elections or the past couple of years. the highest rate of election participation going to a conservative vote. Let's not act like, oh, well, everybody's the same, and all of a sudden everybody's going to get capped out because of their beliefs or whatever, their political beliefs. It's bullshit. Redrawing the district so that it looks like a weird snake is not how this is supposed to be, and that's not how you're going to serve your constituents. It just doesn't work. It should be capped at different areas. Like, let's say all these contiguous group of counties. Let's make that one group. Let's get them represented by someone, and not something that stretches across 5 boroughs, 5 different counties. That makes no sense. This is bringing a little order back to life here.
Interesting. Arson?
I think the problem with that argument is that, I mean, I agree with you that gerrymandering thing is ridiculous, and there almost should be a law where like they should have like geometrical regulations for the districts.
Sure.
Like it fucking can't be bigger than this angle, like kind of how neighborhoods are in most places. But your argument about the gerrymandering is it's going to continue to happen on the conservative side as well. Like neither side is going to give that up. And this is like kind of a confusing ruling and issue. I was like looking into it yesterday, and it seems like they're trying, it's like a Jedi mind trick where they're like, oh, the law says you can't do these voting areas based on race, and you guys are doing it based on race. So then it's like in violation of your own amendment, or like it's kind of a weird 3D math in their head of getting that. But honestly, I mean, my kind of on the same page with Lenny with the gerrymandering, but also just in general, like I just think we've lost the democracy here. I know these votes matter more on the local level than, like at the presidential level when you vote and you get the whole state. This way it's a little bit more direct to the people, your representatives. But I do agree, like if people are living in different areas, you don't just live in the Hispanic neighborhood, you don't just live in the Italian neighborhood.
Correct.
You can't just draw the map according to like the census of like how people are identifying, but at the same time it seems to infringe on the purpose of the voting act.
So
it's like a scapegoat.
Yeah. So what people for the Voting Rights Act would say is that, okay, let's take Louisiana, for example. They're 1/3 black. I think it's like almost 33 or 34% black. So they have 6 House representatives. So let's just say the majority of black people tend to vote Democrat. You would think the state would have at least 2 Democratic House representatives coming out of Louisiana. But because the way they draw the map, they split the black vote. So now the state has 5 House representatives and only 1 Democratic one. And so that's what they're saying. Hey, this needs to be balanced, because if it's a fair representation of the actual people who live in this state, like just by the math of things, there should be 2 Democratic House representatives. So it's like, if you think of just on the math, it sounds fair to curve the gerrymander so that all the people who of this place are equally represented. But I also get the other side where you're saying, hey, but it looks a little weird. Something sounds a little off if you're making this snake based off race. But if you're doing it to give everybody an equal voice, then I kind of get it.
I mean, you're also like pigeon. Sorry, Lenny. I think I'm on the same side with you with this one. But you're also like pigeonholing people in a way of like, you're just assuming all black people are going to vote for the black Democratic representative.
Precisely.
Versus like, now on the flip side, like, I don't know, do the Republican borders look, according to the neighborhoods, or are they all like weird shaped as well? Or like, are they manipulating it the same way? This is like where it's become a big problem.
So listen,
they are,
both sides do it. Both sides do it, but to the extreme level that I think because you could see the difference between some of the Democratic areas versus the Republican areas and how they are redistricting. And then all of a sudden you see all these blue spots go away. They're doing it. And the Democrats have done it where it's weird districting. It's very weird. Instead of just saying, you know what, let's just get these contiguous groups here that are proportional, because it's supposed to be proportional. You're supposed to have the same equal amount of citizens in each group or whatever. They're not doing that. They're kind of skirting and making all this bullshit. And,
Lenny, that's bullshit, Lenny.
Representative.
Lenny, I'm sorry, but that's bullshit because we saw what Trump did. Trump ordered Texas to change their maps just so they can get more House representatives. Like, that is way more like
but it wasn't snaked
bullshit
out
than what the Dems are doing.
It wasn't snaked out. It was based on, listen, they all do it. And
no. You see, but you just said that Dems, the way they're doing it is worse. And this is a blatant violation of.
Yeah, but listen, it doesn't make, listen, I'm sure you saw the map. Does it make, is that a district to you, the way it looks?
Yeah,
the way those
banners
look, is that a district to you? Does that make any sense?
Yeah, but who defines what a district is? Like, you're just saying,
so how
hey, it
about
needs
we
to
get
look
some
nice to my eyes.
In the government who's going to do it the right way. Why? And like I said, it's a left and a right problem. Let's get people in there. This is why we need term limits. Get people in there that's going to do the job. Keep it straightforward. And remember, majority does rule. Keep talking about black culture or black people. It's 13% of the population. So yeah, is your voice going to be heard that much? Probably not. Is the Hispanic voice going to be heard that much? Probably not. However, they're creeping up and they're building their own base. And I guarantee you, Hispanic or Latino votes don't have the same issues that black votes are worried about. So listen, everybody, if you want to make any type of change or be involved, you got to get involved in your local elections. Most people don't. They don't give a shit. They don't even know who their council person is. So who cares? Right? That's at the end of the day. Who cares? Yeah, but then when they hear something that's on a national level, they go, oh, this is bullshit. But you haven't participated in the system. Yeah, but so Lenny, you don't really get to say anything.
But that's the thing. You're just pivoting to something else. We're talking about the fairness of everybody having equal say. And so if you redraw the maps of districts and now you're taking away basically the power of a group of people's vote by diluting it. If let's say that's
to say that everybody thinks the same.
It's not necessarily, but if they have a history of voting a certain way, and the same way how Dems are thinking about it, Republicans are thinking about it the same way. And they're like, hey, we don't want this big block of people to vote all Dem and take away a House representative from us. So let's split up their district. So now you have part of their group in a majority Republican area, have another part of their group in a majority Republican area. So they're doing the same thing. Like, they're both playing the same game. So why is one side wrong just because it's a snake looking thing, but the other side's not?
Again, you've missed the point. I said that they both do it, and we need folks to get in there to right the wrong.
So what is the way to right the wrong? Like, how do we right this wrong?
Well, honestly, first of all, we shouldn't be drawing snake-like district. We should put a couple of counties that are next to each other that can be represented by one person and call it a day. Why are we making these ridiculous groups? If you happen to live in a majority Spanish area, you're going to get majority Spanish things in that area, right? If you're living in a majority white area, if I'm black, I'm going to get majority of that, whatever their culture is, whatever their needs are.
What if the line goes straight through the majority area?
But it's called a voting system. You guys vote are also, on it. And if you're a minority in that area, you listen. It is what it is.
You guys are also arguing. You're arguing the gerrymandering, which, by the way, shout out to Nokia. That's the only thing I can think of when you guys keep talking about snake. The snake.
Oh, snake, right?
But you guys are arguing gerrymandering, but I think a separate issue from the Supreme Court ruling, which seems to have infringed on the Voting Rights Act and kind of entangled it in the gerrymandering, right? Because now it can have ripple effects throughout the rest of the country. And I think that's the worry from the civil rights leaders. It's not that it's just, the gerrymandering is a problem on both sides, that it's also, having a detrimental effect to the strides made during the civil rights movement. For the white guy to say that to you guys.
That's okay.
No, but don't you think those are like kind of separate issues where they use the Voting Rights Act to, leverage that, and now it sets a Supreme Court precedent, kind of entangled with the whole gerrymandering issue, which to me should be like a kind of in a way, separate issue. Because how are you going to, this whole litmus test now for having to prove that the gerrymandering is racist, like you just say that, but what's the criteria? If you don't define how you can prove that the gerrymandering is racist, what are we doing going forward now?
All right. I don't know. Let's hear from the people. I got to tell you, this coquito is hitting hard.
Oh, I can see. Look at you. You're sweating already, and you're not even getting cooked yet.
I don't gotta get cooked. I'm cooking you.
Yo, what's good, brother? How you doing?
How y'all doing, fellas?
What's up?
What's up, man?
Okay,
Chilling, man.
we need your insight on this one.
So
And he's the perfect person, actually.
Yeah.
when I seen the topic, I couldn't wait to get on and talk about it. I think redistricting happens every 10 years or so.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
it's normal. Like
After the census.
Census grow, things happen. So it should happen, right? To have a functional democracy. But when it's forced, that's when it's a problem, right?
Mhm.
When it's forced, that's when it's concerning. And my biggest thing is like, you have states like Louisiana, Mississippi, those states that are really have a big Black population, right? So it's like, how do you divide that vote? Minorities are growing, minority voices are growing, and I feel like over the years they're trying to do little things that slowly take voting rights away from people. For example, you guys mentioned Texas earlier. I worked on a campaign a few months ago, and they switched one small rule, right? And that was like, you have to vote. You could be living in a district, but you have to only vote near to wherever you live, right? In your precinct. You couldn't vote anywhere else in the district. And I saw a lot of people get turned away at the polls. Like, people will walk out angry and they're like, we couldn't vote. So like, these things really are happening, and small incremental changes. They're trying new things. They're trying to be slick about it. But I think overall, when you zoom out, it's actually a really big problem. Not to have like a super liberal take about it. I usually try to look at it with an open mind to see like, oh, is this a distraction? Is this a real issue? I think things like this are, because, this is, voting is the cornerstone of our democracy. And if you're finding creative loopholes and if you find creative ways to prevent people from voting or influence the vote, I think it's a huge problem. And especially with Trump slowly kicking every issue out to the states, every local election matters even more. And for example, I grew up in Oklahoma City. A lot of Oklahoma City is blue. The entire state is red. So it's like, well, we need to have more influence. So let's try to redistrict these areas that are having the blue wave that are not supposed to. Or so I think it's actually very concerning. And I think this is like one of the beginning steps to something maybe more drastic, just to see like, what can we get away with?
But
So
let me ask you though.
Oh, okay, you go.
On a Supreme, on just leaving it at a legal basis.
Yeah.
Should we allow racial gerrymandering? Because this is what the case is about. It's like, you can gerrymander. You can do these things that you do. You do it every 10 years with the census, which is why people should not ignore their census. But on a racial side, do you feel that they should be making decisions just solely based on race? Because then you're going to have things on both sides. And if we continue with that type of precedent, there's other things that you're going to be upset about that white people are going to take advantage of because they are the majority. So should this be a complete, racial gerrymandering is a thing, or should let's just get rid of it and maybe people participate in their local elections and things of that nature so they know what's going on in their town?
I think elections should be based not off race, but off your situation, whether it's your financial situation, whether it's your, like, basically what's in your neighborhood. So, now race is very important, but I don't like when politicians lead with race, right? When they go, oh, I'm the first brown person. Like, no, let's talk policy. Like, every community, there's a lot of poor white people and poor Black people that live together, and they could care less what their race is. They're just trying to, make it to the next month. They're going check to check. So yep. I think redistricting and sense should be based off census, based off economic impact, not race. So race redistricting, I disagree with, but then I also understand why it exists, because you do have communities that are not represented by an individual from that community.
The reason the reason for the Voting Rights Act to begin with is the fact that Black and brown people's vote was being diluted and they were disenfranchised. So that was correcting a wrong that was done based off race. So now if you're undoing that correction, you're now reverting us back to a problem that was based on race.
So, Alex, are you back in a situation where you feel like, as a Black man, Spanish man, that you're going to be oppressed now, you're going to be discriminated against, you're not going to have the same rights? Do you feel in today, 2026, you're not going to be able to continue to go make your vote count, go protest where you want to, not get your concerns addressed by your representative? These type of things. Do you feel now that this has happened, this stops? Because I doubt that. I'm sorry, I doubt that.
So to answer your question, because you're doing like the whole catastrophic all or nothing thing, but I do think I am worried about the slow chipping away at things like this, because now I'm going to have less people that represent me in the government that reflect my community. Like, if you split up my community, then we're going to have less representation in the government.
What do you mean by split up your community?
Like,
if you live in a town and 2 towns over, you got other people that think do you think that they should be fused? Or listen, they might have a different representative. Like, I don't understand. Why is it that all of a sudden you're going to be disenfranchised for a gerrymandering or a district that you actually live in, that you actually care about, not something that's fucking 200 miles away? That doesn't make any sense.
You're not hearing me. So based on, like, culturally, we're a lot alike, and lots of people, some of their cultural attributes happen to be based on race. Like, you live in a town that is majority black and brown, but you're next to a town that's very white. What if they just split your town down the middle, and now part of your town is now voting with this majority white neighborhood that has their best, they have their, what's it called? Like, the things that they
best
want.
Interest.
Yes, their interest, and now they're the majority vote. Wouldn't you feel slighted?
That's not how New York City works, because I live in the city.
No, but that's how gerrymandering.
You're talking about something going into Long Island. No, it's going to be a different set of people who, by the way, the town next over, if we're just going to be factual about it, is black. The majority is black, and it's still Long Island. Okay.
You know what the fuck I mean.
I know what you're saying, but that's not what they're doing.
Yes, it is what they're doing. That is exactly what they're doing. They're splitting these majority black neighborhoods and diluting them into majority white neighborhoods, so then they lose their voting power. That is what they're doing in Louisiana.
So how about we just take the certain towns, this whole town, you're one town. We're not going to draw any lines. And that's why we need people who are cognizant of these districts, these towns, these little counties. That's where you draw the line. Where this ends is this county and is represented by XYZ. That's it. Stop playing the game.
Guys, you know what I think is actually kind of the bigger overarching problem with this is that all of these things, from going back to Trump not accepting the election results, to all the theories that with the ballots, I mean, and listen, the ballot stuff to me was a little like wonky, like the mail-in ballots and the way they used COVID and everything. But this is just another addition to kind of people losing faith in the voting process in general.
Facts.
And I think it's a problem on both sides. It's kind of, to me, the weird part is how they, again, flipped that part of the Voting Rights Act on itself, saying like, oh, you guys did this based on race.
Yep.
But I also disagree with you, Alex, where like, I think, you can't, like, that's where the Democrats screwed up last election as well. They're like, look at this, like, the borders is open, like, everybody could just come in. Hispanics, you're going to vote for that, right? You love that? And like, Hispanics are like, no, like, we want a border. Or, like, there's a bigger turnout by the Hispanic population that was like, what the fuck is going on? We don't want this. So I think the real worrisome part is we're moving towards a nation that does not believe in fair elections. And look at other nations where that has happened, Venezuela, all of these like banana republics, like we're trending that way. And I think this comes on the heels of that, where I think it's going to be a shit show in November. There's also, when Hegseth was up in front of Congress, they asked him specifically if Trump ordered him to have the National Guard collect the ballot boxes and the votes, if he would, be against that or whatever. So there's going to be like some weird stuff coming up with the elections. And the more distress the population has, the more like troublesome and violent things can get. Yeah. And I think this again adds the racial element to this whole thing. Like, we're having this race conversation because that's what they want us to be talking about, not about like how they're scheming to do whatever the hell their plan is.
Let's say you install anti-bullying laws, right? And then next administration comes and guts them. That just kind of sets the precedent. They don't give a fuck about bullying.
Yep.
So it's like you have racial, like obviously like democracy should evolve, and every act you pass, maybe you should act on it and like keep improving it and working towards where it works the best, but completely gutting the system that was set to protect a people, a group of people, sends a very high precedent of where somebody's priorities are and how they feel about a situation. And I think
Absolutely. That was a great way to button it up, Adil. Before you go, the dilemma. So if you're offered $50 million to become the official spokesperson for the KKK for 5 years, do you take the bag or do you keep your soul?
Listen, I worked in human rights my whole life. So I'm taking 50 mil. I'm writing a book about it. I'm making a movie about it.
Look at all these loopholes.
Yo, I like this guy.
I've done my part in human rights. So listen, I'm gonna go get the money. So
that makes
Lenny
a lot
and I
of
had
sense.
to wear hoods. We had a straight protocol.
Hey, you got
everybody
it.
else
Well,
is like,
what's
"Oh,
wrong
just
with
tell
the
people
hood?
it's for the money, and then
Hey.
I'll collapse the organization from within."
You didn't think about it. That's your fault. Yo,
You
Adil,
Nah,
thank
I
you so
like
much
that.
for
I like
calling
that.
in, brother. Appreciate you, man. All right, who do we got next? Bring them on. Hey, what's good, Chris? All right, so where do you stand? Do you agree with the Supreme Court and their recent ruling?
Absolutely not. It's 110% terrifying what they're doing right now. I agree with arson. Like, what's next? They're gutting our voting rights. That's like one of the only non-violent things that we can do to, like, to express ourselves as a country. Like, I honestly, it's terrifying seeing like what's going on and like what they're doing to not only our voting rights and stuff like that. I feel like honestly, this is all just really gearing up for the next election, presidential and the 2026 like midterm elections. They're just trying to keep Trump in power or keep the powers that be in power and stuff like that. And the Dems aren't doing good either. Like, as much as I am a Dem, like there's fuck up on both sides, and it's just like, what the hell is going to happen to our country now? Like, what are you going to do next? Are we just going to bring back segregation at this point? Like, what are we doing?
That's where it's kind of
What's going
trending by like, that's what was made when you and Lenny were talking. That's what's kind of making me thinking about, all right, if are people just going to like move? I mean, New York is like one of the most segregated places in America. It's like very distinct neighborhoods. There's not a lot of like really mixed neighborhoods. People mix because everybody's got to get on the subway and go to work and go to Manhattan.
Yeah.
When they go home, they like live amongst themselves.
Yeah.
But is that going to create that same? Does that already exist in the country? Is that going to encourage that as well? Where
Right.
like are we segregating ourselves by race, or are we like a country of ideas? That's where I'm like
Yeah,
conflicted.
it's like we're like slowly reverting back to like the Jim Crow times and this, that, and the third, because you can't like
It's like
you
a
can't
horseshoe.
you can't not talk about America without bringing up race. Because literally, we were one of the last countries to end slavery and racism and
What
oppression.
the hell are you talking about?
literally-
Slavery is all over the world right now as we speak. There are more slaves in this world.
You can't
right now
not
than
talk
there's ever
about
been.
America
Have
and
you
American
seen what's going
history
on in Africa?
without the
What
oppression
fuck
that they
are you
do that
talking
our
about?
own people. Relax, Uncle Ruckus. We get it.
Uncle
We
Ruckus.
get it,
Yo.
dude, okay? Chill with the coquito, but like your people
This is
are being
ridiculous.
hurt right now. Their
This is
votes are
ridiculous.
being
Okay,
taken
so
away,
slavery-
my friend.
You can't see the slavery, so it's all good. You don't see the
You
slavery.
can't
It's
see the
reported
slavery. The
worldwide
slavery
where
is
the slavery is, so
literally
it's all
everywhere,
good.
bro.
So
One
it's
at a
not
time.
your type of nigga that's being slaved, so who cares about it? What
Yeah,
the
but you're
fuck are you
talking about the
about?
individual. We're going collectively as a whole, bro. Like slavery obviously is like not like old school slavery is not happening right now in America, but you still have people being fucking like the institutions of slavery and all that stuff. Like literally, one of my friends married a girl who's from Texas, and they still use textbooks that say like the Civil War is called the War of Northern Aggression. The Civil War is like the second name. Like
Oh,
that's slavery.
shit.
That's like low. And this happens, bro. My bro
I'd
literally
like to
married
see
this girl.
that.
Hey, listen, she's a sweet girl.
I'd like to
Love
see
her
that.
and everything like
'Cause the
that. But
Civil War
literally,
is
they're
like-
still they still have these textbooks. They still have all this education that they're still
Lenny wants to
pushing
buy that
and
textbook.
rhetoric that they're still
So
pushing, bro. Like, what are we talking about?
We call it the Civil War. But Southerners who believe that the North were aggressive call it the War of Northern Aggression. In context, that's what the Southerners called it. So you can't point out what they called it unless it's no, that's how the South still feels. That's a bunch of bullshit.
Bro, that's because it's called the Civil War. We were at
Yes.
a Civil
You
War.
should call it what it is now.
You should call it what it is. It's not the War of Northern Aggression. We were trying to end slavery because it wasn't serving us. Even Lincoln said that slavery was going to just peter off if the South just didn't crash out the way they didn't crash out. And then next thing you know, boom, we're in a civil war.
So do you hate, let me ask you something, do you hate white people?
Do I hate white people? Bro, if it's not snowing,
Okay,
I ain't
Kanye West.
going. What are you talking about? All right? Relax, okay? I love me my snow bunnies. And I also love me my black queens. And I love me my Latina baddies. I love them all, bro, okay? You're not catching me today, Lenny. You're not catching me today. Come on, what are we talking about? I love me America, baby, but America is
I don't even know where to go from here.
Yo, on a quick tip, I don't got my tinfoil hat today, but you guys know who published all the textbooks in America for public schools?
I know this one. I know this one. I don't know if this is correct or not, but when I was doing some like research on YouTube and stuff like that, one of the YouTubers said that like women of like the South, the Confederacy, were in charge of like a lot of the education back in the day, especially.
The answer is Robert Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell's father.
Yeah.
Who, by all accounts, was a Mossad agent buried in the Mount Olives or whatever. Before you get on your anti-Semitic thing, I'm Jewish.
I say it.
I got Jewish genetics. I'm not Israeli. I don't support a foreign nation, but I can discuss this.
You sound like Trump right now when they said oh, the country's being run by pedophiles. I'm not no pedophile.
I'm saying I'm Jewish. I have
He's pointing it out.
family lineage that died in the Holocaust.
You are Jewish. That is good.
Yeah, I
Are
can
you
speak on
full
this.
Jewish,
You can
though? I don't
say
see
the
no
N-word. I can
yarmulke.
talk about Israel.
What was that, Lenny?
Are you full? I don't see no yarmulke, man. You don't be claiming the set.
The tinfoil hat.
I got
Oh,
genetics,
yeah,
bro.
it is.
That's deeper than wearing a yarmulke and crying on the wall.
Yeah. Shabbat shalom.
I ain't never seen you at the wall
Chaim.
either. You just.
Yo.
All right, let's stop it. You guys are going off the rails right now.
I mean,
All
come on. That's what happens when you go to the wall.
right. Yo, Chris, before you go, if you're
All right,
offered
anyway.
50 mil to become the official public spokesperson for the KKK for 5 years,
Come on,
do you
Chris.
take the money?
No, absolutely not.
Come on, Chris.
Really?
Let's get this money.
Nope, absolutely not.
Let's
I
get
can't
this
do it.
money.
I can't do it, Lenny. I know as much as I am broke and I work at this shitty job that I'm still at right now, I can't do it.
On a
I
Sunday.
can't do it. My soul is more important than 50 million.
50 million is not
Now,
enough
100 million
nowadays.
is
You
a
can barely
different
buy a
story.
house.
Nah, 50
Like,
mils is a lot.
Inflation's a thing. So if we go up to 100, maybe like
Oh, shut up, you guys. 50 million is a lot of
I'm not
fucking
even
money.
mad at
That's
that. I'm not even
generational
mad at
wealth
that.
right
inflation's
there.
a thing. The economy's bad,
I'm
bro.
not mad
Like
at
that's
that.
we're not
generations.
talking about this right now.
Negotiate the price. Negotiate the price.
Negotiate the price.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe we can do 3.5, 50 million.
Right. See, Lenny knows. Lenny knows.
Now who's Jewish?
I'm with you. I'm with you.
All right. Yo, Chris, thank you
That
so
would be
much for
great,
calling,
though.
brother.
That'd be great.
Appreciate you.
My guys.
Gang. You don't bury your husband on a Tuesday and take over a $400 million political empire on a Wednesday by accident. The internet thinks Erica Kirk is losing her damn mind, but I'm telling you right now, she's reading a script for 2028. Erica Kirk just dropped a highly produced video clapping back at the media. She was caught on camera running out of the White House Correspondents' Dinner shooting in tears. But in this new video, she goes on the absolute offensive. She attacks the journalist. She calls out the shooter. She even calls out comedians in whiteface taking a direct shot at Drewski. And she explicitly goes after Candace Owens for claiming she had a hand in her husband's murder. This is all happening in the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination last September. Charlie was the founder of Turning Point USA, the massive conservative youth organization with a war chest of nearly $400 million. And just 8 days after Charlie was put in the ground, the board unanimously made his wife Erika the new CEO. Right now, the internet is split into two camps. Camp 1 says she is just a traumatized widow trying to protect her family from slander. Camp 2 is saying her behavior is extremely weird. They see a former reality TV hopeful forcing herself into the limelight, using a tragedy to execute a corporate takeover and keep the donor money flowing. And then you have the absolute fringe losing their mind.
Erica Kirk, like everyone's pounding on Erica Kirk right now. And I would say have a tiny bit of sympathy, not because of the widow thing, but because she's most likely doesn't have a say in what she's doing. She was very early on in her life. Her parents are both CIA. They have no problems with feeding their kids into the meat grinder, and she's probably an MK Ultra sex kid. And it's like
So
Courtney.
she's not even aware of what she's doing.
She has no say in what she's doing. They tell her what to do. They send her where she has to go. She has her job.
So why don't they just hide her in the back? Like, why is she out there being insane?
It goes back to that thing. The final thing I was going to tell you is like there's the role of the widow in Kabbalah. Like she's playing a role right now.
But while everyone is distracted by the crazy CIA rumors, they are missing the actual play. This is my theory. I'm calling this right now. You're hearing it first. The powers that be are grooming Erica Kirk to run as vice president with JD Vance in 2028. And when you look at it through that lens, her strange behavior makes perfect sense. People are asking why she's forcing herself constantly to be in the limelight, why she's showing up to the correspondence dinner when she should be mourning, why is she putting out these weird dramatic videos? Because this isn't just grief. It is a calculated high-stakes audition. If you don't believe the machine is grooming her, look at what happened just last month. President Trump officially appointed Erica Kirk to the U.S. Air Force Academy Board for visitors. Why the hell is a former reality TV hopeful advising the Secretary of Defense on military curriculum and discipline? Because the political machine needs to build her a fake national security resume before 2028. Look at the political math. By 2028, Gen Z and millennials will make up the majority of voters. The Republican Party desperately needs that youth vote. The original plan was obviously to run JD Vance and Charlie Kirk. But Charlie's gone. The political machine needs a replacement. JD Vance has been aggressively positioning himself next to Erica. He personally helped carry Charlie's casket. He went on Turning Point campus tours with her. And way back in December, a full 3 years before the election, Erica officially endorsed Vance for 2028. The political machine does not have a heart. It has a balance sheet. JD Vance wasn't carrying that casket out of the goodness of his heart. He was carrying the future of the Republican youth vote. Charlie Kirk was their only bridge to the TikTok generation. They are not going to let a $400 million asset like Turning Point USA die with one man. Erica Kirk is being rebranded as a political savior because a grieving widow is the ultimate bulletproof shield against political attacks. Follow the money, follow the influence. The 2028 ticket is already being built right in front of our faces. Lenny, Arson, is my theory crazy, or are we watching the origin story to our next vice presidential candidate?
Arson, I'll let you take that first.
I don't even know. I feel like my head is going to explode with all
Well,
the
I think he's full of shit.
conspiracy stuff. Who's full of shit? Alex?
Ow.
You think my theory is full of shit? All right, break it down.
Yeah.
You go.
You're like, oh, he needs the youth vote. They got the youth vote. All right. Just like the last conversation. Who's the majority in this country? You want to take a gander?
Are we talking about race? Race? Or are we talking
We're
about?
talking about race.
Okay, yes, white people are the majority, but they're slowly losing that majority.
How? To what? To what end? You're like in the last election, it was damn near a split down the middle for young voters. And that's an uptick for the right side. For you to go and say this is a plan for 28, hell no. If anything, it would be a Vance Rubio ticket. And most likely, if you want to hear the real take for 2028, it's likely to be Rubio and someone else. Rubio is likely to win the primary, not JD Vance. Now, if the Republicans want to go through a chain of secession and have like a long line of people, then yeah, you go Vance first because he's the incumbent, and then Rubio. But Rubio as Secretary of State has made such a he's met such headwind that people are like, oh wait, we like him over Vance. So this Vance ticket makes no sense. It is not, they're not putting her out there. No one likes her for real because she does this weird stuff with the eyes. I actually watched the video. And honestly, it wasn't that bad. But when you have still shots of you staring into the camera, doing all sorts of things, yes, it looks very weird. Again, she's off-putting to everybody. And I don't know what it is, whether it's the makeup, the eyeliner, whatever the hell's going on. But she's staring into the camera sometimes. This all-black Mission Impossible look needs to go. You're like, what the fuck are you doing? Put yourself in a goddamn ponytail. Let's go back to your glamorous days on the goddamn pageant stuff. Like, look nice, look pretty, get the fucking eyeliner out of there and call it a day. She just looks terrible. This is not what's happening. But she's not running for goddamn vice president. It's just ridiculous.
You don't feel like she's being pushed?
No.
Why is JD Vance flying out to do
now
a
all of a sudden
TP
she's the CEO of the company? That means she's pushed up to be the president?
No, but the connection,
Vice president?
the connection to the government. Like, why is JD Vance doing events with her? Why is she on the Air Force
because
thing?
JD Vance himself said he was good friends with
let him talk.
Let me get my point out. Why are they now? They're. I saw an article that she's supposed to revive the Maha movement. Like, they're incorporating her into the administration as like at least a liaison.
I mean, Turning Point has been a part of the subset that goes after a youth vote or influences a youth vote. Okay, fine. So yes, you need leverage in certain areas to maintain that voter base. This is the game. This has always been the game. I don't understand where the conspiracy comes from. To go from that to top echelon position as VP and running mate makes no sense to me. Now, yes, you might be right, and we can go on Poly, whatever the fuck bet markets, and it'd probably be a billion to 1 chance. Put your dollar bet in.
50 mil.
But it's not happening, son.
All right, so Letty, let's make a bet right now. How much money you want to put on it?
I'll give you $1,000.
Okay. So this is on the record live, everybody, and it's recorded. $1,000 that Erica Kirk will be on the ticket. And so now let me break this down. Turning Point USA was a big reason why the youth vote went for Trump. They got them excited about Trump. It was like a combination of Turning Point USA, him going on the podcast, like him using the memes and social media. Like, they really targeted the youth. Now, if you lose an organization, because they are already losing the podcast space, a lot of the podcast space is turning on Trump. His approval rating right now is at 41%. It's really low at the moment. People feel like the economy is shit. They're against these wars in Iran. Like, right now, he is losing his base, and the only people who are sticking are the old fucks who are dying off. So let's keep that a buck.
I mean, you say that he's losing his base, but every time you see one of those polls on CNN, it don't seem like that. It seems like MAGA's alive and well. And it's not even about
this is polling.
It's about policy. It's about different things. Let's not act like,
you guys are going to derail this whole thing to Trump.
I got a snapshot of the time, and this means that November is going to be shitty. That one does not mean that. You know, there's a whole summer that has to happen. We got all sorts of things going on. It doesn't mean the voter base is going to be different. That's what always happens.
Hold on. No. Right. So, Lenny, if everything you just said, I completely agree with you about Erica Kirk, right? Off-putting, really sus, starts going out in leather, leggings to coming out to fireworks, has this controversy where she's banned from Romania for a potential organization that was tied to sex trafficking, potentially involving the U.S. military. Like,
that one might have been debunked, but keep going. The Romania one, I looked into it. It looks like it was debunked, but I don't know.
Which part was debunked? She's not banned from Romania?
That there was sex trafficking, like kids were going missing.
Well, there was allegations. There was a formal investigation by the Romanian government into this organization, and there was ties to a U.S. military base. Whether or not that went anywhere or whatever it is, point being is, like, if you have somebody who seems so toxic at this point and it's kind of like very cringy, why does the administration is putting her into positions of leadership? Why is JD Vance doing events when they're in this? You're saying MAGA's, holding strong, but, I don't agree. Trump is very unpopular right now. Nepotism. Why aren't they distancing themselves from her?
It's called nepotism because Turning Point USA is still a functioning company doing the outreach, correct?
Yes.
So if you have a leg that's going to do,
not based on
if you have a stream that can do the legwork for you in terms of gathering your base, getting a certain voters of like mind to do what you need them to do, you're going to do it. This is the game of politics. This is what we've been doing. You're so hyper focused on what the right does. Focus on what the left does. See what they do. What are their methods?
You didn't answer my question.
What are they pushing up?
You didn't answer this question, but also, why put her at the helm of it if she's so off-putting to people?
Like, why keep her around?
Well, no. Remember. I don't think anyone's really seen Erica Kirk before the assassination like that. Like, she wasn't like, oh, Erica Kirk this, Erica Kirk that. It was always, Charlie Kirk is at this university. Charlie Kirk is doing this. Yep. Charlie Kirk is chilling with Candace Owens. That's his man. That's, all that. It's until he got shot. It was like, oh, well, we need somebody else to lead the pack. Who better than the loyal widow of Charlie to continue on his legacy and to do the things because she's going to be pushing that. So listen, they made a decision. They made her CEO of the company. Probably the wrong decision. Who knows? But they're going with it. And so far, has it bit them in the ass? I don't know. I'm not following
Yes,
fucking
you know.
Turning Point every day. Like, I don't know what's going on. However, there's no ascension for her to be a VP. I guarantee you this not happening.
Bro, like, you know, the VP role is not that important. It's really just, hey, you may tap into a base that the person running at the lead of the ticket might not be tapping into. So that's the
Like
only
Kamala
reason why
Harris?
you're around. Like, that's
Like Kamala Harris?
Yes, yeah.
She's
I'll keep it a
black
buck.
and a woman. Is she qualified?
Who knows? We know that she was a senator, right? So she was able to win some
And let
form.
me tell you, I'm not saying stuff like that to disparage her because
Oh, okay.
before she was VP, I thought she was quite competent. If you heard her during the Senate congressional hearings about any like different things, when people came in, she had to interview them. She was a great interviewer. She was very harsh on
She's a
them.
prosecutor.
But now you just see that it's all manufactured. She was just all a fucking. She's made up because when she comes time to go off the cuff, when you're dealing with Charlemagne, all these different people, you can't go on Rogan. Now we know that she sucks. So yeah, is the VP role important? To a degree, yes, we could say no, not really, right? They don't really do much. But why can't we have somebody in there? And I'm sorry, like JD Vance is doing a lot more than what's her name, Kamala ever did. Like he's over there trying to do the negotiations with Iran, all that stuff. That's a bigger role. What does she do? You can't even point
Can
to
we
things she
keep this on Erica? So right now, Erica Kirk.
again. Okay.
Right now, Erica Kirk. Why would Trump give her this title of the U.S. Air Force Academy Board of Visitors? Like, why would he appoint her to some random bullshit?
Nepotism.
Okay, so you don't think that's like priming her? Hey, you have a role in the government. Why is
building a resume?
Yeah, building her resume. Why is a grieving widow showing up to the correspondence dinner? If you keep getting attacked by people, they're memifying you. Why do you keep showing your face and going out to these events?
Hey, listen, right now you sound like Candace Owens, and I'm not against it.
We love Candace.
I love Candace.
Speak for yourself.
But you see, yeah. But you sound like her right now. Why did you go to the correspondence dinner if you thought that you don't watch the news, you don't this, you don't that, you don't know who these people are? But you said that you wanted to address them face to face. All right, Erica, you sound like a disingenuous bastard. However, we're gonna go to the point of, listen, you have a base. Your company does something for our base, so I'll reward you with a position. That's what happens all the time. It's nepotism. The people you know, the people that are close to you will get the positions, they fill it in. Are they qualified? No. It happens everywhere and anywhere, and let's not act like it's not going to happen at the highest level of government.
Okay, but so now I'm just saying, why, if the VP role is not that important, yes, you can be a JD Vance and actually do something with it. You could be a Kamala and maybe not do so much with it, but
thank you.
Let's just say if the main goal is getting in office, we'll figure it out after the fact. Why not have someone like her running as your VP? You have a woman who's in charge of this $400 million war chest, who has the youth vote. Like, what would be the downside?
Yeah, and how come how come Ben Shapiro and his organization doesn't have any role in the U.S. government?
He's Jewish.
I would argue
He's Jewish. You got.
You want to know the truth? Are you serious?
Fucking
look at
you
Congress.
Got Kushner, you got Huckabee.
That's
but
our
they're
greatest ally. What are you talking about?
So who has been ascended? Who has been ascended as a Jewish man to do these roles?
What do you? I don't understand what you're saying. To do which
Yeah,
roles?
I don't get what's the point.
No,
of
who has
No,
been
no. I'm
ascended?
asking
Who has
what
been pushed
because
up?
I'm asking
The only
how
one that's been
because you
Shapiro,
said she's
Shapiro got-
influential.
Tell me
at a
why did Shapiro? Because he was the better candidate to be a VP instead of Tim Walz. Why did they pick Walz over Shapiro?
Wait, what?
There's no reason.
Oh,
We're talking about different
besides
Shapiros.
him being Jewish.
no, he's talking about
Yeah.
Waltz. Yeah, I think they picked him just because he seemed like the everyday man, and they wanted that vote. They
But you
wanted
don't need the everyday man in
they wanted the
national
Midwestern
politics.
relatable guy. They don't want the hey.
Also,
the
I'm
button-up.
I'm not saying that like what do you call it? Nominating Ben Shapiro for the vice presidency. I'm just making the point of like he's cringy, but I'd say he's less cringy than Erica Kirk. And I think he has retained more of his like followers and listeners and has been like unrelenting support for the current administration. Yet he doesn't have, to best of my knowledge, any formal ties to the administration, while Erica Kirk is getting formal positions.
Would Charlie Kirk take that position that Erica Kirk has just taken?
It. That was a position he had.
That's a bit so okay. So if they're in the same position, He's just doing what Turning Point USA did and made him CEO, and now she has this position. It's just okay, carpet blanket. You know that this is take it. This is what your thing is. This is what Charlie had. You can have it too.
Yes, and when he was alive, they were hinting at Kirk Vance ticket.
No, they were not
Yes, they
hinting at
were.
a Kirk Vance ticket.
Yes, they were. What are you talking about?
No, he said he would run for president in 10 years. They weren't going to do a Kirk Vance ticket. I'm telling you right now, it is not Kirk or anybody. It is Rubio and Vance.
Well, I'm gonna make it rain with your 10,000 when we. I mean, with your 1,000. Sorry,
10,000.
I should make it
You're
10 because
up
I feel that confident. But I'm gonna make it rain with your $1,000 when she's on a ticket. Let's see what callers we have on the line. Who do we got? Hey. All right.
How you
Nick,
guys doing?
what's good? I'm good. So, how you feel about this? Do you think they are grooming Erica Kirk to run for VP in 28?
I don't know if they're necessarily grooming her to be like VP. I mean, it's possible. I mean, she's definitely. I agree with one thing concretely, and that's that she's there to ascend the halls of power. That's entirely like what she's there to do. Like you were saying, like her parents were CIA. She's involved with all this other creepy shit, and then like now people are saying she's complicit in the murder of her husband, which I completely think is real. I think that she was in some way complicit. You know, you can't look at that woman for 5 seconds and she's like. And be like, oh yeah, that's just an
I don't know
innocent
what's
white lady.
happening, man.
That's an innocent white lady. Kenny Lenny, look.
I
That's
know
the
this.
look of a woman that's never did anything in her life. She's just an innocent little white angel. We need to protect her
At all costs.
at all costs.
Damn, Lenny. Damn. Come on.
I'm not saying that was a joke. It was a joke.
Damn. I just let Lenny off a cliff. Watch all the hate mail you're getting now.
So then, but if they're putting her and doing all these things for her ascension, what would be the outcome? Like, what's the purpose?
I think the purpose of it is just to be in power. I think in some way to be in power. I mean, whether that's by being vice president, whether that's by being on the presidential ticket, or even just being the wife of J.D. Vance, which I think is possible also. I think that in some way that it's just about getting power for
You believe all the conspiracies on this one, yo.
Yeah.
She had the fingers
how
through
do
his
you, how
hair.
do you believe anything that the U.S. government is doing anymore? Like, how do you believe anything that they're telling you anymore?
So let me ask you, what does she want? What does she gain from the death of Charlie Kirk?
VP.
Now she's open for J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance could swoop in and be like, hey, because J.D. Vance don't like his wife.
You talking
know
about
that.
JD Vance loves chicken curry.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
he
No,
does.
he likes boiled chicken with peas
Chicken
on the
dance,
side.
tandoori, and all that other stuff. Well, come on, he love that shit.
Yo,
No,
how can you
fuck.
say he doesn't love his wife, man? Like, he's been with her for years. They have kids. I think she's currently pregnant right
They
now.
got 3 kids.
That doesn't mean anything. I've gotten girls pregnant I'm not in love with.
You are jaded.
Yeah. I look around the world
Oh,
and every
man.
morning I'm like, I hope I don't die today because of the incompetence of these bitches.
So what's the baby count at?
No, I don't know. I mean, I'd assume it was just the one, we took care of that.
Yo, Nick,
Ah, chop shop.
That's not
yo,
a
guys,
living baby. to
bring
my
it in.
knowledge.
Bring it in. Bring it in. I'm curious.
Yeah, but-
Why are conspiracy theorists so quick to jump to like MK Ultra, CIA plots instead of just thinking like politicians are just opportunistic?
I mean, I do think that they are opportunistic. I don't think it's necessarily like MK Ultra, this, and the third, but like, obviously when you're a politician, you got to use the tools of power, which happen to be the CIA, the FBI, these organizations that they have access to.
I hear you. Oh man, this is crazy. All right, would you put money that she's not going to be on the ticket? I'm not forcing you to bet. I'm just saying, how strongly do you feel on that she's not going to?
In terms of her being on the ticket, I think it's still possible. I don't know that it's necessarily the route she's going to choose, though. I think that in some way she's going to be involved. I don't know that she's necessarily going to be the person on the ticket, but it would make sense in a way. But also, like, in a way, it wouldn't also, because popular opinion, if you're paying attention at all, is that, oh, this bitch is crazy, possessed, or evil. And, it wouldn't be a smart move on their part to run somebody like that. But
Rationally, that sounds correct, but think about how much we were making fun of Trump in 2016. Hey,
That's
this
the thing
orange
also.
guy he's so erratic, he's this, that, he's this, and that was memeified and made him more popular.
But
Like,
do
I
you
think
know that
all
was
the
the
weird
impetus
eye
of-
stuff helps her out.
That was the reason why Trump decided to run.
That's
He
the
went
thing
to the
also, like,
White
you
House
never know.
Correspondents' Dinner. Obama made a joke of him and said, he's never going to be president. And he said, I'm going to flip it on you. And guess what?
Yep.
Bitch.
And now Erica Kirk went to the correspondents' dinner. Everybody's making fun of her. Why are you running out of there crying? Why were you there in the first place? And then,
Yeah, Lenny,
Okay, but that's
Lenny,
not
you're the
fair.
Obama now.
Alex, that's not fair. That's not fair. There's some guns being shot. Clearly someone's trying to get in. You don't think that might trigger something? Come on, you have a heart.
No. I get that. But at the same time, hey, she went to the dinner. I mean, Trump went to the dinner. He got made fun of. President. Kirk went to the dinner. Got made fun of.
She didn't get made fun of at the dinner, asshole.
Whatever.
I mean, you don't know
That's
that,
because
yeah. They could be, like,
Trump was too
doing something
pussy to
like
have a
that.
comedian there. That's why. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up? Yeah.
We should've got Nick
I
on
wish I had my
the
sound effects right now.
Get me on the podcast.
Yo.
I'll talk shit for 2 hours with you.
Nick, before you go. All right. So you're offered $50 million to become the official public spokesperson for the KKK for 5 years. Do you take the money?
Nah.
Really?
I can't. No, because you know what? Like, I joke around, but like at the end of the day, like, money's worthless, bro. Fuck money. Like, I'd rather just have my fucking self-respect. Fuck the money. I'm good where I'm at.
See,
True anarchist.
the people that tune in for this show, they're good people, unlike Lenny. Yo, Nick, thank
You said you take the
This is the
fuck.
difference.
Hey,
This
we
is
passed
the
By the
that.
way,
difference.
if I'm
Yo.
not on the watch list after
But when
this,
you
I
point a
already am,
finger,
so
three are pointing back at you.
Yo,
but
Nick,
listen,
thank you
hold
so
on.
much for calling in, brother. Appreciate you, man.
I think it's a little ridiculous that you can't have a little $50 million to do a little job. What happened to the casting couch? These bitches have been doing casting couches for
Whoa,
years.
this
They
took
get
a turn.
hundreds of
Like the
millions of
Klan.
dollars.
Jesus,
How
what are
can I
you?
do this for 5 years and be done with it? I can't get in and get out.
How do you compare casting couch to the Klan? There's no racism.
Listen, you
on the
talk about
casting
Oh
selling
my
the
God.
soul.
They-
You
the
talk about
casting
do
couch
whatever you
costs
want for
every
money.
color.
Why can't I do this?
Bro,
Why
So
can't
why-
I do that?
so what's stopping you?
And here's the best part.
What's stopping you right
Everybody
now?
loves me.
all right,
What's stopping you from the casting
Everybody
couch,
loves
Lenny?
me. So it's like, yo, listen, I'm gonna come with a different perspective. If you can understand what's happening, cool. If you can't, this is just what we do. And then you're gonna be like, oh, well, he's still a nice guy. I like him.
Yo,
Look,
you'll be the first lovable
everybody
KKK.
We can
Yeah,
still
no,
work
you know
well
this
together.
the guy who's like converting people, the black musician dude
Oh,
who's
yeah,
converting people out of the KKK.
Yeah,
And it's gonna be the black dude converting black people into the KKK.
Oh, man. Yo, Nick, thank you so much for calling, Nick. Thank you so much, brother.
For having me.
Donald Trump is literally threatening to pull up on Cuba and rob them at gunpoint. Morally, launching an unprovoked invasion to annex a neighboring country is peak imperialist garbage. But if you think Trump is just talking shit, you played yourself, because people laughed when he threatened to buy Greenland, but he used that exact threat to squeeze the EU into a $750 billion energy deal and force Denmark to pump billions into American defense firms. People thought he was bluffing about going into Venezuela until he literally ripped Nicolas Maduro out of power and killed 32 elite Cuban special forces in the process. If we've learned anything, when this man makes a hyperbolic threat, you have to take it as a promise. And a few days ago in Palm Beach, he put a massive target squarely on Cuba's back.
An architect who's really talented. He's done a lot of work for me. He's got a flair, a beautiful Hispanic flair in particular. And he comes from originally a place called Cuba, which we will be taking over almost immediately. Now, Cuba's got problems. We'll finish one first. I like to finish the job. On the way back from Iran, we'll have one of our big, maybe the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier, the biggest in the world. We'll have that come in, stop about 100 yards offshore, and they'll say, thank you very much, we give up.
Let's run the game theory on this. Side one, the strategic play. A lot of Americans are looking at what just happened in Venezuela. We went in, executed a massive military maneuver, and now we basically control their oil flow. Because of that, people think annexing Cuba will be just as easy. And there is a massive military upside. We would permanently kick Russian and Chinese intelligence operations right out of our backyard. It secures the Strait of Florida, giving the U.S. Navy absolute dominance over the Gulf of America. Economically, it's a gold mine. Cuba is sitting on a massive reserves of nickel and cobalt, the exact critical minerals we need to build electric vehicles. And potentially, 79% of South Florida Cubans already support U.S. military intervention, meaning Trump locks down the state. But then you have side two, the horrifying reality check. First and foremost, the body bags. This isn't a video game. We are talking about a massive, devastating loss of human life on both sides. A lot of people think we can just bomb their weak military into submission in a couple of days. And sure, our military could level them. But that is exactly where the bloodbath begins. The Cuban military doctrine is literally called the war of entire people. They don't fight in uniform. They are trained to dissolve into civilian populations and drag us into a brutal, endless urban insurgency where our troops are fighting street by street. And if we somehow survive that, we now own the rubble. Cuba is completely bankrupt and their peso has lost 88% of its value. It would cost American taxpayers upwards of $10 billion just to turn their lights back on. We would instantly inherit 11 million starving people and a massive humanitarian crisis. Here's my take. Trump acts like taking over a country is just a hostile corporate buyout. You park a massive ship off the beach, make a threat, and wait for them to sign over the deed. But he is completely ignoring the massive graveyard he is about to dig. Venezuela might have looked like an easy win, but Cuba is a trap. Blowing up a country is easy. Owning it is a financial and military nightmare. Lenny, Arson, assuming Trump actually follows through on this threat, do you think it's a good or bad thing if we annex Cuba?
I'm just ashamed with what's going on. Even having this conversation. Listen, we've been having this oil blockade in Cuba, straight up committing war crimes. There's reporters who've gone down there to pediatric hospitals. Power goes out. Doctors have to put their iPhone cameras on or their iPhone flashlights on, go to the NICU units and pump the kids' ventilators manually because it takes 6 to 7 minutes for the generators to kick in. There's, pregnant women are worried if they have any complications, power goes out. And that's just, one example. There's such a
horrible. That's horrible.
I mean, it's crazy that we're a nation that's currently doing this. And there's I don't know if it was some government official from Cuba that I saw on an interview saying like, hey, if we're such a bad, horrible, collapsing nation, why do you have to do these embargoes? Why do you have to stop the oil from coming in if we're just ready to collapse on our own? No, it's happening because of what we're doing there. And we're just being shitty neighbors to everybody. And I don't see any America first that has happened since this presidency has began. And this to me is using our tax money to commit atrocities. That's where I stand with this whole Cuba thing.
Lenny.
Honestly, it's probably it's not something we as a nation need to do.
Wow.
We don't necessarily need it, but there is Cuba's willingness to be a Russian proxy. So, that's always been our beef with them, right? Since Kennedy, right? That's why we did the Bay of Pigs, which failed miserably, right? But, at the end of the day, this is the fight continues. So
we prevented nuclear war, so I wouldn't say it was a complete, but I get what you're saying.
They prevented nuclear war because one of the guys decided not to hit the button. And
yes.
There's a whole documentary, but that's one person making that decision after getting the decision to say, do it.
That's not because of the Cuban Missile Crisis. That was an error on the Russian system where they interpreted.
Correct, but still, nonetheless, it would have happened. Either way, Cuba has been an area where they've allowed Russian resources to be kept. Now, is it the same way as what it used to be? No. And why exactly do we need to get involved with Cuba? I don't know. Maybe there's something there that I don't know. I haven't really dived deep into it, but clearly, there's a strategic value to it. So at this point, does it make sense to do it? I honestly think that most of the Cuban people are suffering. And it's not just only because of us. They've been suffering before us. You see all these little videos of people posting things. We have no electricity.
Lenny.
We have no gas. And that's just based off the country's dealing with how they do it everyday operations, infrastructure operations. It's shitty. It sucks. This is what you call a shithole country.
Yeah, but nobody cares about this government doesn't care about the Cuban people suffering. They said that same nonsense with Iran and then started bombing everybody there. Okay. They're gonna uprise. We're gonna help the Iranian people, and then they're just like, we're blowing up civilians.
So this is more or less the Monroe Doctrine stuff going on. This is our hemisphere. We should own it. We should make sure everything's on the up and up. Cuba seems like a problem. I don't know exactly what the problem is, but if they're the problem, it's our responsibility to go take care of it.
So are they a problem or aren't they?
I don't know yet. I don't know. I haven't deep dived into it. Maybe we can have some Cuban
I know.
come in.
He's waiting up.
Why is it that everybody in Miami feels that, oh yeah, we should do this? These are defectors from Cuba. Why do they feel that they need to do this action?
Are they going to move back to Cuba? Or
hell no.
Exactly.
You know why? Because Miami's nice and full of bitches. Why would you do that?
But this whole idea of like listening to people who've immigrated to this country, wanting something for their, like if you want something in your country to change, like I was born in Russia. Like I'm not gonna move back to Russia. So I'm not talking about what I think Russian politicians should do. You know, it's the same way we keep like asking all these people who come to America how their country back home government should act. It doesn't make any sense.
But you don't have any lineage. This is actually a place that they could touch. They could actually go back if they had the opportunity. And maybe, just maybe, because most of these people have that type of connection. Maybe you don't have it with Russia, right? But they have a connection to Cuba. Now, if it's up to me, if you're in America and you're an American citizen, you should kind of leave that shit alone.
No, my point is like we shouldn't listen to their opinions.
You might have some things you might care about the people that you left and you want them to do better, you want them to have a better living, then yeah, you're going to be on the side of, hey, the United States should take over it. The United States should do something about the leadership, and maybe something happens. But again, I don't have any skin in the game, so I don't fucking care.
Okay, how'd you feel about our intervention in Venezuela?
I thought it was badass. They got him, but he was over there talking shit. You can't talk shit.
Do you think it was warranted? Do you think we should have done it?
Yeah, why not?
So then what's the difference with Cuba? It's the same thing. Well, they're talking shit.
Well, Venezuela was also the first domino
that goes to the information that we
Cuba.
do have. I don't have all that information.
I mean, you have an opinion.
I have an opinion, and my opinion is we went in there, did some badass shit, and got their leader out of there. We are now going to do the oil thing, which we need, because clearly for us, and I don't think a lot of people understand this, for us to live the life that we do as Americans, these type of things need to happen. Otherwise, a lot of you guys would be fucked up out here.
So that gives us the right to just rob other countries.
No, I'm not saying it gives, but you always make an excuse.
I thought Trump said we have the biggest oil reserves. We actually should be exporting. More. We don't need to rely on the Strait of Hormuz. We don't need.
Yeah, but now you're talking about
Venezuela
what happens on the Western Hemisphere. And what happens on the Western Hemisphere based on the Monroe Doctrine, we need to be involved.
Yeah, but who gives us the right to just control?
We did.
Okay.
We did.
And why is it right? So couldn't anyone just say, couldn't Canada just be like, you know what? We made our own doctrine. We control this whole shit. And now we're at war with Canada.
Respectfully, if you're talking about Canada, military-wise, you don't even have the balls to even try to pick up a fucking egg.
Okay, so you just think might is right. So just because we have the force to do it, we should just abuse and not give any annex country, they're not entitled to their own freedom.
What have I told you on this show time and time again? The game is risk. It's world domination. And until everyone figures that part out, you're not going to understand geopolitics.
So then why are you against
the game?
So why are you hesitant on Cuba?
Republicans do it.
Why are you hesitant on Cuba? If that's the thing, hey, Cuba has minerals we need.
I'm saying I don't know if that's if strategically correct. But if they say there's a reason to go get it.
No. But
just like you go get Greenland.
They have resources that we can benefit from. So should we just go take it? According to your logic, we should just go take it.
So maybe we can tap into those resources and make Cuba better under the guise of the United States supervision.
I mean, does it look like we're doing that in Venezuela?
No.
It does actually.
It looks like we're taking control of their oil and we're profiting off of it.
We're doing business with their oil refineries. Chevrons have never made.
But also stop.
Have you seen Chevron's profits? It's amazing.
That's what you call business?
But also stopping the oil from going into Cuba by controlling, because Venezuela was the main.
Main because supporter. They're not aligned with what we think and what we say. Global domination.
Perfect. That's what I was going to get to. Game of risk.
Every major country is doing it. You don't say anything about China's hold on Africa.
That's exactly what I was going to ask you.
Does anybody say shit about that?
That's exactly what I was just about to ask you. That's exactly what I was just about to ask you. So exactly what you're saying, game of risk, world domination. Who's our biggest rival? China, right?
China.
When's the last time they bombed and took over a country?
They can't.
No, they can, but what they're doing instead is buying land. They're helping the populations. Now they control those areas and they own those areas, but they're doing so by building roads, building businesses, uplifting people, and then versus America that just comes in and starts bombing places. So why don't we do that to Cuba?
Who do we bomb besides Iran?
Venezuela.
Everywhere. Venezuela.
They had their military assets taken
Yemen.
out in
all of the Middle
East. This wasn't
East.
a bombing campaign. This was an attempt to get a leader.
32 people died.
Oh, yeah. I like how you say the Cuban elite forces. They're not so elite, are they? 32. They had no idea.
This shit
Their lives are not important.
They had no idea. You're worried about military lives? This is what you sign up for.
I don't sign up for bombing some other country that has nothing to do with us.
You didn't sign up.
Okay, we as a nation didn't sign up for attacking other nations and taking their natural resources.
So then why do we have a military?
To protect ourselves.
Originally for defense. Well, not originally, but as of recent times for defense.
You guys are missing it.
No, I'm not missing it. You didn't answer my question about China. How come China's not bombing places? How come they have a different strategy? And how come everybody's so worried about China?
Mutually assured destruction. We're not going to go into an area, or China, vice versa, is not going to attack us. We're not going to attack them. We're going to go through proxies because the stakes are too high. At that point, if you go at superpower to superpower, now we're talking about nuclear weapons. And that's why we don't want to do it. That's why they fight in proxy areas. Do you think Iran is alone? Do you think Iran is alone in what they're doing in their fight back? No, they had China help, they had Russian help. And guess what? Turns out that Iran turned out to be a paper tiger.
At the US on behalf of China.
Chinese equipment and tech didn't work out in fucking Iran, and the Russian weapons didn't work either. So this is a test on the global scale, but they're never. Why doesn't China attack Guam? Why doesn't China take Taiwan already? Why doesn't Japan and China go into it? Because you can't. It's a nuclear weapon situation, and they're going to have mutually assured destruction. You guys don't understand.
So hold up. Taiwan's not America.
You got to do it at the small level, and Cuba is just a part of the. It's a pawn on the game.
But Taiwan's a perfect example. You said proxies. So why don't they go into Taiwan and bomb Taiwan?
Because they can't right now.
Why not?
Because it's by United States. Period.
What was that?
They can't because it's backed by the United States. They have troops there. No.
I mean,
not enough to defend against China,
and it's in their hemisphere.
In the area
Monroe Doctrine
is right there, my friend.
Bro,
we have Guam, and we have all these other places. We're not shorthanded in these locations.
China might have a base in Cuba, or they try to build it. China might have a base in Cuba, or they definitely were trying to build a base.
And that's why they're saying not on our hemisphere, and they're trying to take it over.
Right. So where's the distinction between you're saying we could do that to Cuba because of China, but China can't do that to Taiwan because of us? That doesn't make any sense. It's pitting the nuclear powers against each other.
Because we actually would retaliate,
and China wouldn't.
Not like that.
Yeah, Letty.
Ask them how
you walked yourself into a corner.
This is so crazy.
Are they better than ours?
What's that? We don't know because
we don't know.
They seem to be building.
We don't know. Yeah.
We're struggling in Ukraine. We're struggling in Iran.
Fuck out of here.
Our military does not look the strongest right now. I'm just letting you know.
You know what? We're getting depleted. Some goddamn patriotism and root for the home team. You fucking.
We are being patriotic. We want what's best for the. We don't want to be seen as the terrorist of the planet. That's my perspective.
Bitches laying down. That's what you want to do. Laying down my gun. I missed the piece.
Do we have callers?
There's a whole world out there that will take your shit if you let them.
Because Lenny's gonna go crazy, spinning circles around trying to make justification of this. This is crazy. Who do we got?
Whatever. Let's get a caller on.
Yo, LT. All right. First off, do you think America should annex Cuba?
Holy fuck, man! You guys picked a lot of hard topics today.
Yeah, I know.
I honestly don't know enough. I want to know how much of a diplomatic approach they tried having before escalating to where we are now. Like, did they try talking this out, making a deal, or are we just going head first into fucking them up?
Who's to say they're going to annex them completely? I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they've already done a lot of stuff, I think, to affect their
Trump
their
just said
ability.
Yeah, Trump just said.
Yeah, but he uses these viral hits to leverage the situation. They're not necessarily real. He always says, "Oh yeah, we're going to do that," but it's a leverage. oh, we're going to take over Greenland. Now I got a deal to buy parts of the Greenland and all that stuff. It's not, it's leverage. It's talk high.
But it ends up affecting the people. He's trying to get the people in power to make a decision, but ends up affecting like normal poor people in the long run. Like it all ultimately always goes down to the consumer as well, like the tariffs, you know, we're the ones that are paying for it when we buy the goods. The people in the middle are always going to mark up their prices, and then it comes back to the taxpayer, it comes back to you, the consumer. Like it has a pretty bad effect, but I don't know. I don't know how much of an attempt he had talking with him. You know, I wish that his words would slap a little better than his actions. I mean, he's obviously good at doing what he wants to do. We saw it with Venezuela. Cuba should be looking at that as a blueprint of what they're going to be doing to him. And
he currently has an oil embargo against them, and it's like they're living, you know, like they're already in like living in the 80s, and now you're just driving them further back.
Oh yeah,
60s.
Yeah, and you're gonna build a lot of people who hate you from doing stuff like that. You know, it's not good. You got to think about that, man. I don't think he thinks about that at all. I get that he wants to be a strong leader and he wants to be firm with his decision making, but don't forget that you can have a diplomatic approach. I don't know if he's done that or not.
I think we've tried diplomatically for years and that's failed. Yeah. However, I will say this: you're gonna have people that's gonna hate you either way. But let's not pretend that life was the best in Cuba.
No, yeah,
as
absolutely.
As if they had running water, they had the infrastructure for energy. They don't. They're
hold
leaders
up.
People of Cuba, period.
Hold up.
Yeah,
in 2012, I went to Cuba, and it's not as bad as what people say. Like, they have running water.
You mean in the hotel that you stayed at?
No, I actually stayed in a bunch of different Airbnbs with locals because I wanted to get a real sense of what was going on. And
From the coast? Where were you? Were you inland Cuba?
Stop nitpicking.
It was both. I was inland Cuba, and then I was also in the outskirts.
Yo, you're trying to do some rose.
Were you like in the Cancun version of that area?
No. I was amongst the locals.
So you didn't see the struggle.
I did see the struggle. It's actually really fascinating because they have two currencies there. So they have the currency that when all the visitors come, and you go to those restaurants and you're paying like regular, hey, like it's $30 a meal type of plate. And then they have the places that the locals go to. They use a different currency there. And it's like 20 cents gets you a meal. Like the shit was fascinating. So I went with the locals to one of those places and we had a lobster dinner for like $5. It was fucking
You were cheap.
Crazy.
You were cheap. You should have paid $100.
What time was this around?
This was when Obama was president and he like lifted the agreement, the travel restriction.
Okay.
Can I just say this? Let's YouTube Cuba living and let's see what's real and what's not. And I guarantee you, most of the time you're gonna be like, oh my God, this sucks.
Okay, Lenny, the US blocking oil from going in and causing national blackouts like for hours. That was
recent.
Are we just like kicking, instead of like helping your neighbor up, you're just kicking them down so you can take their house?
And look at what's happening at home too. The gas prices are skyrocketing. So
yeah. And until this thing gets fixed in Iran, it's not going to happen. But to Arson's point, you're trying to tell me that they didn't have a electrical issue before the blockade?
But is it making it better for like? Are we you got to think about like you say you don't have a soul, right? But like you got this idea of a soul of a nation. When you're going out and the world is looking at Cuba and they're looking maybe at a struggling third world nation already. And then you go and you cut off their energy supply. So now people can't cook. Old people are going to have a harder time getting a car to go to the hospital when something happens. Babies being born, pregnant women. Like what's happening is what China's doing, right? Arguably, is picking up their neighbor and building them a house. That burned down. What we're doing is we're kicking the neighbor down and then we're setting fire to their house. And I don't want my tax money going towards that. That's not America first.
Okay, but do you want our tax money going towards making them whole? You want them to get the gas? You want them to get all the things they need? So
we don't need to send them $1 billion checks like we do to Ukraine and Israel. Leave them alone, at least.
Leave them alone? So you want some other country to influence them? Because they need help. They clearly need help. They need outside influence.
They need help because we have had an embargo on them for years and have fucked up their economy.
Yep.
We have not had an embargo on them for years. Trump's been in office to 2 years, and it happened last year. Let's not go crazy.
That's
what were they doing before
what about
that?
from before? Like before,
you're
like
talking about.
I'm
You mean
saying
Biden?
just the
So
state
what
of the
did Biden
nation.
do with Cuba?
Like America has messed up that country for years.
Yeah, the
So
reason
what is-
why
what-
it looks like they're
okay,
still in
so
the 80s
everybody's
is
on the
because
same,
of
Yeah,
ours.
it's
everybody's on the
because of
same playing
us.
field. Democrats and Republicans are on the same playing field.
It goes
They've
back to
all
the
done
Cold
same
War, of
thing.
like they're
Why?
communist and
Why?
One at a time. What was your question, Lenny?
Democrats and Republicans have had the same posture against Cuba. Why?
What are you
They all
talking about?
have their own reasons. I mean,
It's
sometimes
actually
they
been different.
maybe it's a gas reason, maybe it's a political reason, maybe they have a friend down there that we don't know about.
But that's
I mean,
actually an
did you
incorrect
guys-
statement. You have
Yeah.
Barack Obama who was like, hey, you know what? We should be friendly to our neighbors. Let's
Right.
allow us to visit
Mhm.
one another and open the borders. And then now
Yeah.
Trump's here and now it's back closed. So they
Okay,
actually
so
don't
what
agree.
was the benefit of Obama doing that?
There's always a
one,
good and a bad reason for it. Maybe he wanted
Because
to
did
influence more
Obama
trade.
build any type of were there any type of infrastructure projects that would improve the quality of life in Cuba? Or I threw you a bone and said travel was now open.
you know
who
how
gives a
big
fuck
tourism
about
is
that?
for countries like
yes,
that?
Lenny,
Like,
what are you
bringing a lot of
talking about? The
That's
amount of
gonna
money.
help them build up their own infrastructure.
So what
with
you
tourism.
want is tourism. You want dudes to go over there, fuck some Cubans, and come back home. Wow.
Lenny, you are
Do you
retarded,
know, like,
bro.
experiences
No,
in
that's
life
you
that
are
wanna go
retarded.
with?
That's real life.
Instead of enforcing something crazy right away, I mean that's a form of diplomacy right there. You're encouraging money to be traded back and forth through tourism, for example, instead of just like forcefully like going, hey, let's
Yeah,
let's do something about it with.
we just keep
The hard
dropping
way.
democracy tomahawks everywhere. It seems like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. I just feel like there's a lot easier way about going things rather than just like forcefully doing them. Like, don't get me wrong. Venezuela was also like a clean approach. You're going after the leader. You're. I don't agree with like the bombings and stuff like that, even if it was for a distraction. But if you're gonna be clean about it, go ahead. Do
On
what you
military
gotta
assets.
do. You know.
On
Oh,
military
God.
assets. Let's
Yo, LT, man. We appreciate you for calling, but before you go, if you were offered $50 million to become the official public spokesperson for the KKK for 5 years, are you taking the money?
Ah, fuck no. It's too
Really?
crazy. I don't got time for that shit. Yeah.
Done.
Being
$50
out there with
million.
those people, fuck that.
50
Nah,
mil,
man.
baby.
You guys
Yeah,
ever been around
everybody-
those kind of people? It feels like a fucking Get Out episode.
Yeah, I'm around Lenny
You
all
do a
day.
lot.
I'll tell you, what if you could be like an insurgent and you use that $50 million to later break up the KKK like some people want to do?
Oh yeah.
If there
I'm
was that
allowed to
little
do, like, an
nuance, would that
inside
change
job,
your
I'll do
answer
it.
on the
Fuck
dilemma
yeah.
question for today?
Arson, I like that idea. Like you
Yeah.
can
Crazy.
get into,
Maybe you don't have to wear a hood.
You can infiltrate. You can infiltrate and break it up. And at the 5-year mark, you're like, oh, I destroyed the KKK. Here are all the secrets.
Lenny, that's what I said in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're joking
I'm
on
just
you.
going for the job. I'm
No,
just saying. I
he
like what Arson saying.
He thought you just came up with that idea just now.
That's okay.
That Coquito's hitting, bro.
Yeah.
Coffee right here is hitting.
Yo, LT, I appreciate you. Thank you for having a good soul, man.
Later, bro.
Money
No,
doesn't
thank you,
matter.
guys.
That's what's up.
Thank you guys. Love you.
All
Bye.
right, man. This was a great episode. Let's just move on to off script section. This is the section where, hey, we can just talk about anything while we wait to bring some callers on. What's on your minds this week, fellas?
Listen, before we got going on the show, you were talking about Denzel and Samuel
yes,
Jackson.
That's right. Good recall.
So let's just throw it all out there. Whose catalog is better, right? Samuel L. or Denzel Washington?
That's a good point. And I think, and then just to add the little part of what we started the conversation of whose catalog is better is important.
Catalog.
But also who has better range in the movies. That was kind of the original.
Yes, that was the original, but
You got to take both into consideration.
Okay, so who are you going with, Al?
Catalog wise, I don't know the full scope of both their catalogs, but I'm just gonna have to say Samuel L. because he's been in more movies. Like I think he's been in the most movies of any
He's in damn near
actor, if I'm
everything.
not mistaken. What?
He's in damn near everything.
Yeah, so just off that, I'm just gonna be like, all right, well, there's a chance that he's been in more movies, more like better movies than Denzel. But the ones I can think of more Denzel movies over Samuel L. because usually Denzel is the leading role. Samuel L. is not usually the leading role.
Okay, let's.
I think you got to take that into consideration for the catalog.
Okay, so just
when you say your
make sure
catalog,
that,
it's not just movies you've been in.
Samuel is the leading role.
He's not the leading role in damn near all his movies.
He's a leading role in a lot of his movies. So
Let's
Come
hear
on.
some examples. Lenny.
Yeah, name. Name 5.
Pulp Fiction 1.
Black Snake Moan, Pulp Fiction. He was a leading role. No, Pulp Fiction's different.
I think
Pulp
he was.
Fiction had everybody in it, but
I think
no
you give it
one's
to him.
walking away from Pulp Fiction and go like, "Yo, that Samuel shit was on fire."
And people
Like,
will remember
everybody
Samuel
loves that.
more than they do like Bruce Willis in that movie, for example.
Yeah,
No, John
yeah,
Travolta.
yeah.
Bruce Willis is in the movie.
Bruce Willis.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh wow, yeah, okay. All right, so
But let me listen. That movie is an all-time classic. I wish they did scenes with not John Travolta, but Samuel L. and Bruce Willis, because that would have been amazing. Not Travolta and Bruce Willis, but if it was Samuel and Bruce Willis, I think that would have been amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know. The movie was great, but yeah, I don't know. I think I got to give it to Denzel in terms of range.
Really?
Yeah, because Samuel, I just always remember he's always gonna yell. They kind of like later on in his career, they
Django.
yeah, it's always just yelling.
He's
in
not
person.
yelling in Django.
Yes,
He's
he
playing
is.
like a
This nigga here?
He's like
That
most
was
of the
a lie.
movies him yelling.
Who's that
Django?
nigga? On
Isn't he
that
kind of like
night?
submissive, kind of?
Who's this nigga on that night? Like,
Yeah, but I guess because it's not like an authoritative yelling. You know, he has such
Listen.
he has such a submissive role in a way.
Samuel did Star Wars. He's done. He had what was that one where he was Shane? Not Shane. What's the guy when he's a cop with the black jacket? Shaft.
oh, Shaft. Okay.
Leading role.
Leading
Yeah,
role. The one where he was in. He had the baby in the court. Something with Ben Affleck. Jesus Christ. The movie with Ben Affleck when he
See,
got in
but
trouble.
none of these movies are like heavy hitters.
So
So now
No,
let's
that
go
was
by
in
Denzel.
Christ.
You can name
What are you
everybody.
talking
Right. So
about?
my take is that Denzel has a better catalog, but Samuel Jackson has better range in the roles that he has.
I
played.
agree with
Because to me,
Arson.
Denzel he has obviously he's a great actor. He has range, but he has like a prototype of like you make movies for Denzel because you know he's going to do Denzel things in the movie. You don't write a movie for Samuel L. Jackson. You have like a character in a movie and you go, Samuel L. Jackson will be perfect. He can do this character perfectly.
I get what you're saying.
Samuel Jackson would have been perfect in The Hunger Games. He would have been perfect in RoboCop. It doesn't
him
matter
anywhere.
what movie you put
Better
him in,
range.
he would have been.
Exactly.
But
My point.
Arson's. I don't know. I think you're right. The
don't
range
know.
goes
Why
to
you say that
Samuel.
like you don't want to give me? I think you're right.
I don't think he got better range. Y'all crazy.
Again,
Training
Arson's
Day and
To
John
Arson's
Q.
point,
Just
Denzel's
what comedy
somewhat
movie has
typecast.
Denzel ever made? Where he's funny in a movie.
Ooh. Okay. Oh yeah. All right. So he can't do comedies.
Fah!
All right, but what comedy is Shafted?
But he's just like
Shaft is basically a
No,
comedy.
but the thing is, he's just a funny, he's funny. It doesn't have to be necessarily a comedy, but he brings a comedic role to whatever movie he's in if he wants to do that.
Okay, has Samuel L. ever made you cry? John Q made me cry.
Did John Q make you cry, or did the son dying make you cry?
I mean, his role, like that, you know?
I don't
The
believe
Hurricane,
you. You
I mean,
know why?
there's a
Because you
million.
cry to children's movies, so I don't believe you.
Shut up.
You know it's true.
Denzel, I think, is a way better actor as far as his catalog goes, but it's a specific type of acting. It's like,
But if you can act, isn't that the range? If your character is so, if
No,
you can play
range
a
means
corrupt,
different.
yes, corrupt cop and like depressed parent that's like fighting for his child, and then Equalizer where you're fucking everybody up, and then and like
Yeah. So, but he's kind of
Malcolm X. Come on, guys, that's range.
But no, it's not range in the sense of like
Malcolm
you just
X
named
is
like
good.
dramas and like action, right? And even Equalizer is kind of like a drama action, right? So Denzel is like a very drama. You could say he's like a classical actor,
Okay,
right? And again, I can't think of like you can't have Denzel as in a Marvel movie as a superhero.
he's
Why
about to
not?
be in. He's about to be in Black Panther.
Why not? He just did Star Wars. He was fighting.
Yeah, see?
Like what's wrong with that?
Denzel was in Star Wars.
Yes, no,
Samuel.
Oh, Denzel.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not putting Denzel in Star Wars. I'm not putting him in anything
Denzel
else.
is in Black Panther.
Denzel's in the new Black Panther. Yeah.
Is he playing some
No,
elder
he's
who
not.
just
That
sits
was
on a crown?
speculation.
What are you talking about? He said he leaked that, and Marvel was upset at him. He's gonna be in the new Black
Okay,
Panther.
but you think he's gonna have any kind of an action role?
No, I think he's
got
gonna be a
one of
bad
the
guy.
elders.
No, I think he's gonna be a bad guy.
Yeah, Samuel is like like the leader of Shield in Marvel.
Ah.
All
Yo,
right.
Samuel
You guys
Jackson
make a
won.
good point. Hey, what's up? What's your name and where you calling from?
Dave Riley. I live in Nashville, Tennessee.
Hey,
What's up, Dave?
welcome to the show, Dave. So
Hey, thanks
this
for
part
having
is
me.
called off script. You can talk about whatever you want to talk about. What do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about air traffic control, man. It's there's some stuff going on in the news lately. There's been some serious incidents, some tragedies, and as a retired air traffic controller, I'm seeing some very concerning trends with what's going on. So I kind of want to get your guys' input, maybe answer some questions, and kind of let you know where I'm at.
R.I.P.
Sure.
Spirit Airlines.
Zero
fatality crashes.
Topic. That is another off-script topic. We're gonna get to that.
No fatality crashes ever. Spirit Airlines. A lot of fist fights.
All right, so tell us, teach us about what's going on in air traffic control.
Yeah, air traffic control is experiencing a 30-year low in staffing right now, and the administration is trying everything they can to try to get air traffic controllers into the pipeline, the training pipeline, because it takes 3 to 5 years to make an air traffic controller. It's not a job that you can just walk in and start talking to airplanes. There's intense training, a lot of memorization of rules and things like that. And the FAA is the real problem. The administration, across administrations, have tried to fix this problem, and they're not really doing a good job at it, because a lot of it comes from Congress appropriates the money to hire air traffic controllers, to implement new equipment, which is also a big part of this issue. That's very concerning. And they're not really doing their job, the FAA, because the FAA starts dragging things out, and then they say, okay, well, we're not going to put this money over here, we're going to put it over there. And there's no congressional oversight on how they spend this money, because they come at them and say, hey, we need money for this, we need money for that. And then a new leader of the FAA comes in and changes direction, because the administration is touting some successes right now as far as the brand new air traffic control system that they're talking about. And those projects and those things they've been touting as successes are programs that have been in place or have been in progress for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
So they're looking for quick wins, quick talking points. But this problem is deeper. It really is, because now you're seeing incidents that air traffic controllers are starting to make some mistakes, and people's lives are in jeopardy.
Dave, I got a question. Being that you worked in this field, I'm sure you have an idea of kind of what's going on with artificial intelligence. Do you think there's potential beneficial use of AI in that field to help assist, especially during the current situation, if there is a reduced number of air traffic controllers? And do you think it's dangerous? Like, can you give us like a little pro cons of having AI incorporated into the systems? And do you see risks with potentially AI screwing up? And like, what ways do you think AI might work well if you do?
Yeah, there's already artificial intelligence that help air traffic controllers. There really is. As far as the LaGuardia collision on the runway, there's a system that's built to help detect runway incursions that allows controllers to be alerted to a potential situation. That's one example. There's another example that they're pushing right now is building systems that can meter air traffic into airports. And help control the stress that's put on an airport, sort of as like pressure of a lot of flights. So there's benefits like that. However, everybody keeps thinking that AI will be able to replace air traffic controllers, and that's not going to happen, because the way our brains rationalize things, there's things that computers can't do that humans are the logic and the reasoning. Humans will always be in the loop on air traffic control, as far as I'm concerned.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on that? Because I'm one of those people. I'm like, this seems like the perfect industry for automation. It's like, hey, you don't want planes to crash? Let some AI just calculate where every single plane is. It knows by the fraction of a second how, and the distance and things like that. I think human error is probably where it goes wrong. So tell me why humans are better.
Yeah, there's always a concern about that, right? And there already is tools that air traffic controllers have to alert them when airplanes get too close together. So that type of technology is already in place. But there are the multiple tasks that need to be handled, that you need to communicate. Because you could have an AI air traffic controller, but are you going to have AI pilots? No. But there is technology in place. There's recent. this recent incident here in Nashville that happened, the air traffic controller vectored these airplanes right together. And the only thing that saved it was a technology called TCAS, Traffic Collision Avoidance System, which has been placed for decades. But that's the only tool that saved a midair collision again.
wow.
Was that tool. So there are tools in place that we in the industry use, but for AI to come in and have it all just automated, I don't see it. I really don't.
Well,
I agree with Dave. I don't think it all needs to be automated. However, I do believe that the tech is antiquated.'ve been using the same systems for years, and there are engineers and people that don't want to touch it. They don't want to update it because it's so vital to our air traffic controls, but it has a stranglehold on our system. It feels like if we update, there's fear of some issues. But I believe in Europe, they've updated their systems. They're using GPS more and more, a different type of GPS system. Where do you think we can improve our tracking systems, GPS wise, or just with overall tech? Because as I understand it, they're using a lot of antiquated software, and that stuff needs to be replaced.
Oh, absolutely. And that problem is the procurement process. So once Congress allots the money, they give it to the FAA and says, hey, you need to improve this equipment. It literally takes 10 years to field a new piece of equipment. And there's pieces of equipment that that are super simple, that could have been replaced easily, but that's when the FAA gets involved. And these managers start making these decisions on what equipment they're going to approve and field and let the whole process go through. And that's all a money thing.
Why does it take so long?
So just because there's 8 hours in a day, right, or 10 hours in a day, and you put together these work groups with contractors and software developers, and it just becomes a Monday through Friday, 8-10 hour day development process.
I don't know.
On all angles.
I can't let you wait, wait. I can't let you off the hook on that because I see SpaceX and Elon Musk changing the revolutionary advances, and he's like, hey, we do stuff fast and we make shit happen.
Yep.
So why is there such a slow?
Which is why I said there's a problem with government.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you I support it, and because it's crazy. Yeah, let me give you one example. We have an information system. It's basically like a web page that gives us information on the rules and information about airports and stuff. It's literally running on Windows 98 because they've never taken the time to field it. Now, could you and I go down to Office Depot and buy a bunch of computers and some software to do this? Yeah, absolutely. I have actually seen managers at small facilities actually do that and then get told by higher powers, oh no, you have to take that out. You can't use that.
Wow.
So it's something as simple as that the FAA gets involved in and the bureaucracy starts dragging everything down.
Thank you.
So I absolutely agree with you that there's more computing power in our iPhones and a lot of systems that the FAA is using.
Wow.
So
Dave,
that process needs to be streamlined, and it's just the big bureaucracy, the red tape, the contracts that get let. These government contractors is like the American dream now, because you can just get this contract and drag it out for however long you need and just continue to make a bunch of money. Yeah.
Dave, I got another question for you. Just given the state of the world and your obvious experience in the field, what potential do you see due to this kind of reduced number of air traffic controllers? What potential do you see for a foreign actor doing some kind of a terrorist attack, incorporating this issue that we're having at the airports? Because we're crashing our own planes, right? So if somebody,
that's an experience thing.
If we're running Windows 98, is that something susceptible by China? They catch a period where there's a bunch of planes coming in towards JFK and just shut everything down. Is there something, are the systems susceptible to that?
Yeah, they are in some ways. I don't know exactly the tech behind all that and how the hack would go, but that's always a big concern. You see the airlines having some issues with their tech and their scheduling and things, and you kind of wonder what's coming in from the outside on that. But the big issue for air traffic control, and one thing that this current administration is pushing, and it's been in other administrations, is they try to consolidate air traffic controllers and equipment into one building. and one building
Jesus.
is what we call a single point of failure, right?
Right.
Wow.
There was a situation years ago in Southern California. They have a big approach control there called SoCal Tracon, and they handle multiple approach controls for like LAX, San Diego, a lot of the big airports. Well, they had a wildfire that came through and they had to evacuate the whole building.
Wow.
And it slowed everything down. So this current administration is saying they're going to take the en route air traffic control centers, put like 5 or 6 of them in the same building. You got to consider yourself for a terrorist attack. Is it vulnerable for something like that to literally take down? And there's redundant systems and we share airspaces and you learn kind of adjacent airspaces and stuff like that. But if there's a massive event like that, it slows the entire system down. And we are seeing peak air travel these days. There are more flights now than there ever has been. And if like with 9/11, after 9/11, when they shut down the airspace, economically, it's crippling, not only for the airlines, but for our entire economy.
And just last question. Spirit Airlines, do you have a take on that going down? Like, does it affect your industry at all?
Yeah, man, I saw it right up front when Indigo Holdings is a company that brought Spirit Airlines online. And then I saw that entire process. I saw Indigo sell off Spirit. And then they bought Frontier. I was working and living in Denver at the time, and Frontier was like the hometown airline. And when Indigo Holdings bought Frontier, they brought Frontier Airlines down to the Spirit model, the ultra low cost airline.
Yeah.
And that just has all kinds of problems.
Yep.
So I don't have much sympathy for Spirit Airlines. They want to be that ultra low cost and try to maybe make up for the profits by more flights and things like that. But it's a free market society, bro. And, you know, some things work and some things don't. So there'll be somebody else to fill that role. There'll be somebody else to buy those airplanes and do something with it. So
okay. And lastly, before you go, because you actually have a look for this one, if you're offered,
I knew you were gonna go there.
Yeah, Dave, you're gonna be perfect.
if you're offered $50 million to become the official public spokesperson for the KKK for 5 years, do you take the money?
I don't believe in any of their principles.
You don't
However,
have to. You're doing a job.
I'll take the bag and be a professional and be a spokesperson.
I was just saying,
when you were talking about, I was thinking maybe I have a T-shirt made up that says these are the opinions of my boss.
That's what I'm saying. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yo,
There's
Dave,
no reason why you can't get a bag.
Yeah, I hear you. Letty, we all know you. You would have taken for fucking $1 million. But Dave, I appreciate you. Thank you so much, brother. Yo, more calls like this is awesome. Thank you so much, man. Who do we got next?
Appreciate it.
Yo, what's your name? Where you calling in from?
Bernard Fulmer, Georgia.
Georgia, all right. You're looking nice out there.
Oh, man, it's beautiful. I'm about 4 hours south of our last caller. They should, honestly, you should have saved him for last because I'm a fucking idiot compared to him.
We love brilliant idiots.
Yeah, we do love brilliant idiots, so it's great. All right, talk to us. What's your concern or comment?
Well, I've been listening to the whole show, and originally I want to jump on for the voting rights thing.
Okay.
But it was such a good note that I don't want to end on anything controversial. So here's what I'm going to say.
Okay.
The gentleman in the hat, the AM hat.
Okay, that's
What's
Lenny.
your name?
AM mornings,
Hey,
baby. What's up?
Hey, Len. Now,
What's
you
going
and I
on,
seem
Bernard?
to be not much. You and I seem to be ideologically aligned. So over the past 10, 11 years, 10 or 15 years, from my vantage point, it appears in order to stop one man from attaining power, that a lot of our customs, traditions, and institutions are being destroyed to stop this one man. And with that metaphorical takedown, it seems like a lot of people are getting caught up in the whirlwinds of it. Now, I'm for the Trump doctrine, right? And the Trump doctrine to me is this. The United States is the queen, the most powerful piece on the chessboard. You got your knights, bishops, rooks, your knights, bishops, and rooks, which are the BRIC countries. So in order for the United States to move freely across the chessboard, you have to take out all those other pieces, right? And
Absolutely.
I believe in this administration and what they're doing, because they're trying to set up American dominance for the 21st century using oil and natural gas.
Yeah, Bernard was gaslighting us. You're neither an idiot nor are you uncontroversial. Yeah. Just mad eloquently like dropped a bunch of controversy on us.
He's not an idiot at all. But okay, so what's the question? All
right. So the question is, do y'all see things the exact same way, that our institutions are, customs and traditions are being torn down to try to stop Trump from gaining power?
Can I answer this one?
Oh yeah, let Alex answer this one because he's gonna give you the soy boy answer.
So here's the thing: our institutions aren't being torn down to try to stop Trump. In my opinion, Trump is the one tearing down a lot of these institutions, whether you agree with it or disagree with it, because he did say that he was going to do this. He's like, hey, I'm gonna drain the swamp. It's not status quo anymore. I'm going to change things. So some people like the way he's going about things. Some people don't like it. That's up for debate. But I don't think institutions are actually being changed in any way to tear him down. I think he's doing it all himself because he ran on one thing, and it seems like a lot of his actions, the only thing that he kind of stuck to is closing the border. I'll give him that. He did a good job of closing the border. Everything else, it's not America first. We have a new war in the Middle East. Like the economy and inflation is bad. So it's like he's not doing the things he promised or ran on.
Hey, listen, you want to talk about war? No,
let's hear from Bernard.
Yeah, let's hear from Bernard.
Thank you for your service.
Are you representative or are you a Marine?
I am a Marine. DD-214, honorable discharge. Operation Iraqi Freedom Combat veteran.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir.
No problem, It's great to serve great Americans like yourself. So here's where I would push back against Alex. And this is where I say the deterioration of our institutions, trust, customs, and traditions began. It's 2010. The Democrats had a supermajority in the House and the Senate, and they couldn't pass Obamacare because they needed 60 votes.
Mm-hmm.
So what they did is they attached Obamacare to a budget bill, a budget reconciliation bill, where they only needed 51 votes. I supported Obama up until that point because I said if they can do that, they can do anything. And 10 years later, they had the lockdowns. So that's where the pushback.
Okay, so let's tackle healthcare. We are a first world nation. Don't you think something as basic as healthcare everyone should have it?
So what you're asking is, should all healthcare be covered?
Yeah.
Right? All right.
Yeah. Or only the rich should have healthcare?
No, it's not a rich thing.
No.
It's not a rich thing.
What if somebody's not working? So their life shouldn't be spared?
Why is your bitch ass not working?
Bro,
here's the issue with healthcare.
Let Bernard talk.
Here's the issue with healthcare. A lot of people, such as myself, make bad healthcare choices. I used to smoke for over 20 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not fair for you in New York. I believe you're from the borough of Queens.
Yep.
I think I listened to Flip enough. All right. I don't believe it's fair for you them to take 3 cents out of the Queens tax coffers and put it towards me for my bad habits of smoking for 20 years if I was to develop health issues.
Yeah, but you're my brother. You're my citizen.
And not just that. You served this country. That's a crazy thing for you to say because out of anybody, you deserve it more to have everything, all your issues covered.
I understand. I'm saying I made bad healthcare choices choosing to smoke for 20 years. It is nobody's responsibility to take care of that but my own.
And this is where everybody fails to realize you're responsible for yourself. If you choose to smoke, if you choose to overeat, if you choose to overdo
what if you just get cancer from not smoking?
People, no. Listen, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about at a level with a country of 330 million plus people. You can't just have the government pay for your health care because then it's a wild circus. At the end of that, you are responsible for yourself. You're going to get insurance through your company or all that good shit. All these people who don't have jobs, there's a safety net, but you should be able to take care of yourself. Why is it that all these poor people got all this money for fucking McDonald's and all this extra shit?
All this money is.
You could get the beans and fucking rice from the store and cook that shit every day. Don't tell me you don't have the resources because whatever you buy at McDonald's, you could get tenfold at a regular grocery store easily.
This is
You
such
get
a
a
rabbit
big
hole.
bag
I
of
know.
rice and some beans, and there's your protein, your carbs, and call it a day. But you
Okay.
want to have the fucking Big Mac Deluxe with some extra Mac sauce and some fucking McChickens, all that bullshit. Get out of here.
Okay. So I love how Lenny always just moves the goalposts. We're talking about healthcare. But
We are talking about healthcare.
okay, and you're talking about
Now,
people spending money on McDonald's. I'm
Yes,
talking
but that's the point. You chose to spend money to get fucking fat and all this other shit, or you have diabetes and the rest of the nation has to pick it up. Oh, you have lung cancer from smoking. The nation has to pick
Yo,
that up. This shit
what
this costs money.
What about empathy and love thy neighbor?
I love my
Okay.
neighbors.
So Alex, I can meet you halfway. And it took me 10 years to evolve to this position. For our basic health care, broken bones, checkups and stuff like that, if there was a mechanism put in place, I wouldn't fight it. The issue is, as we saw with Somalia, you give an inch, and next thing you know, $700 million leaves the country.
Yeah.
And we saw out there, and as we see out there in California with the hospice situation that the great Nick Shirley has uncovered, you got people who have offices set up in strip malls that have no clients but are siphoning Medicaid dollars for hospice care. And I get where you're coming from.
No,
It's-
he,
to
like I
me,
said,
when
Letty,
Bernard is
shut up for a
1000%
second.
correct.
Letty, shut up for a second. This is the thing that is like, I get puzzled, and hopefully you can help me understand. Let's say, even though a lot of it was debunked, but let's say all the Nick Shirley investigation was accurate. There was maybe like anywhere between 30 to $200 million of fraud going up. But we're so upset about that, but you're not upset that we just spent $25 billion in a war that we shouldn't be in?
And sending billions of dollars
What you
to
mean we
foreign
shouldn't be in
nations.
the war?
Trump ran on no more wars in the Middle East. So you're
No, he
not
ran
upset
on no
about
more
that we
forever
just
wars.
wasted our tax dollars on $25 billion for a war he said he wasn't going to start.
Oh,
I
Bernard,
agree 100% with you. I agree 100% with you. Like, this my prayers. I support him. I'm a triple Trumper. Been with him since I saw him on Oprah at 87.
Triple Trumper is fire. I never heard that.
I
That's
love
fire.
that. I love that.
Yeah, this is my dude, right? And I love this guy, right? I love what he's doing for the nation. Like, this is the horse that I'm gonna ride on. I'm gonna stay on this car. I'm gonna stay on the Trump train till the wheels fall off. Right?
Okay.
January 20th, 2029. It's gonna be a sad, sad day. So what I'm getting at is that I support the president. And I believe in what it is that he's doing to benefit this nation. And the thing that I always heard growing up, I'll be 44 in August. So the thing I always heard growing up is why is America buying oil from overseas? Why is America doing this? Why aren't we making stuff? Well, the reason why is because politicians only think 2 to 4 year terms, 6 if you're in the Senate. And nobody wants the nation to deal with the pain because they don't want to lose an election. In order for us to get back to the Make America Great Again, 1950s when we were the sole superpower, it's going to be some pain. And this is the consequence as Americans that we must pay for global domination for the next 100 years.
Bernard, I got a question. Right, it's exactly goes off of what you just said. And earlier you had mentioned 2010 with the Obamacare. Are you familiar? Which also happened in 2010, the Supreme Court ruling on Citizens United. Are you familiar with that one?
Don't even get me.
Don't you
Am I allowed to use profanity?
But don't you feel
Am
like
I
that's
allowed to
where
use
we
profanity?
lost the country? And for people that don't know,
Oh.
Citizens United.
hold on.
Bernard, one sec.
Why in the fuck did John Roberts allow corporations to become people?
Yes.
Yes.
So this is
Citizens
to me
United.
is where we can all unite, and this is to me where we lost this country and where our vote and all this disenfranchisement that's going on with us is because in 2010, Citizens United, the Supreme Court ruled that corporations are people and money is freedom of speech. And we lost even the two-party system, in my opinion. I believe we're in a uniparty system that is only interested in, enriching itself and gives two shits about all of us citizens. So we can bicker about, Cuba and this and the other, but all they care about is getting into office and sending all that wealth upstairs. Where you at?
You know what? Citizens United, what a horrible decision. What a horrible decision. I mean, if you're going to vote for Citizens United, you might as well go have Thanksgiving dinner with Jeffrey Dahmer.
So how can we make America great again if the corporations are running this country? How can you love thy neighbor? How can we make argue about these things when we don't really in a way, don't have control of the destiny of America anymore.
All right. So how can we make America great again? So I'm 44. I'll be 44 in August. I remember when I was graduating when I was 10. So yeah, 10. The thing was, you graduate from high school, you either went into the military, you went to college, or you went and worked at the mills, the cotton mills that were in town, right? But that was before NAFTA was signed. And we had a very, very low crime rate. I remember as a young child, there was a drive-by shooting and a young lady lost her life. And it led to evening news in my hometown for 2 weeks. Now there's a murder every night. So you got to bring back manufacturing so that way, whenever people who graduate from high school, who are not going to the military, who are not going to college, can go get decent paying jobs where they feel as though they can support themselves and their family. And you know what, with men, and I'm going to go specifically with men, young men between the ages of 18 to 28 really don't need that much. They need enough money to make a car, enough money to pay their rent, pay their bills, enough money to trick off for a lady or two, and to go out of town with their boys on the weekend, right? And if we bring that centerpiece of America back, a lot of our issues will be solved, because people will be like, it is so much easier to go to work these 40, 60, 80 hours, make this money to where I'm able to take care of, provide and support myself, my kid, my family, and I feel like I'm doing something. Now, when it comes to love, sometimes you gotta have tough love, right? So I grew up, I saw the place where I was living turning very liberal. I moved 2.5 hours away to a community that reflects my values. Now, the place where I live at that reflects my values, we have a tough love system. Speeding tickets, yeah, you'll get
straight to El Salvador.
DUI, they're gonna lock it. Yeah, you might as well say that. But like our sheriff out here, he doesn't fuck around. He doesn't play any games. So we have a very, very relatively low crime rate, right? And the other thing you asked was what?
Well,
so let's get corporation money out of politics.
And over the I've been saying this for like a while.
You gotta get
And how do you feel like Bernie?
So how do you do that?
How do you feel about Bernie Sanders? Bernie Sanders is the only one that has even mentioned Citizens United as a problem in our democracy.
So when it comes to Bernie, I know that y'all are Bernie supporters, so I'm going to keep my comments very, very.
Not me. Go ahead, brother. Let it go.
All right. I feel the same way. I feel the same way
Let
about
it go.
Bernie as the same way I feel about Tulsi. If you take something from me and label me a traitor, I don't fuck with you no more. So the mere fact that he's still campaigning for the Democrats is preposterous to me. They stole the primary from you twice. And one of those times you was guaranteed to win. So for me to go out there and campaign for you on your behalf, it's mind-blowing and preposterous to me. If somebody don't pay me back 25 cents, I'm done with their ass. Much less take away my presidential nomination.
Yo, he's
so you like Bernie? Is that what I'm hearing?
Bernie 2 times had an opportunity to run for president and be the candidate. He was the one. If there's ever been a turncoat that was, okay, we get why, it's Bernie Sanders. But he still touts the Democrat line. He still goes with them. He's full of shit. He's a pussy. Period.
And at first in 2016, it was Millionaires and Billionaires. They gave him a book deal. Then it became just the Billionaires.
Yeah. What I've been telling y'all. Bernard, I've been telling these folks all this stuff. They don't believe me. Thank you for backing it up.
Yeah, Bernard.
I told you, you and I, yeah.
Before you go, this is a good one. If you're offered $50 million to become the official public spokesperson for the KKK for 5 years, are you going to take the money?
So I got the politically correct answer and the non-politically correct answer.
What's the real answer?
Say it with your chest.
No, because you can hate niggas for free.
Niggas hate niggas for free all day.
He doesn't need the 50 mil.
Yes.
Oh, God. Yo, this is the best fucking call ever. Yo, Bernard, thank you so much for calling in. Yo, you got to call it in the future, brother.
Amazing.
Hey, hold on. One more thing. Thing. Alex, I met y'all in 2017 in downtown Atlanta when y'all was doing a show.
Oh,
and
wow.
The growth, yeah, so you remember when y'all was in the church?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, man.
Thank you, man.
You for a long time.
Appreciate you.
I'll be at the show on the 16th.
Keep supporting, and I'm so glad that we can have difference of opinion and you're still gang, open-minded. I love that. That's what this show is about.
That's what this show is about,
All right,
baby. But thank you.
I'll see you next week. I got to start going to church earlier so that way I can catch y'all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yo, thank you, bro.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, man, that was a great fucking show, man. Big thanks to Lenny and Arson for holding it down today. I appreciate everybody who tapped in, everybody who called in. If you want to be a part of this every week, Patreon is how you do it. That's where it happens. If you didn't get a chance to call in today, you could head over to the comments. I'll be there engaging with you all. Let's keep the conversation going there. And yeah, we'll be back next Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Let's take me off the screen. I'm out. Peace, y'all.